Hey!
Oh, look at that background.
Look at the background.
Oh, you got me. You got me.
Just for you, Joe.
Well, I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Comics Cast Let It Out on a beautiful August 8th, 2021. And I'm super excited again to have my supreme co-host again back with me, Rick. Rick, you've been missed.
Hi.
Everybody's been saying, "Where's Rick? Where's Rick?" And now Rick is back. This is
It's here.
a long time coming. You were with me, a couple episodes back, but then you had to take a little bit of a break. And then we're glad you're healthy right now. But you're back with me today, and that's wonderful. So we got all of our usual suspects. We got Saeed. I saw Molly was in there. So I'm glad that we got some old favorites in our audience that are coming back here. They're all back for you, Rick.
Who else?
Co-host.
Who else?
They're not here
Who
for
else?
you at all. But I want to say welcome to everybody who's watching us today. Comics Cast is all about the independent creator. We want to promote indie comics. If you are indie comics, if you're a writer, if you're a penciler, inker, if you're in the industry, we want Comics Cast's mission is to get eyes on you. We want to be your voice. We want you on our platform. We want to expose you to the masses so that you can be successful. And Let It Out, which is what this show is a little different. This is where we actually get those creators, but we actually get to draw along with them. We get to show a more intimate view of them. I know Rick loves intimacy, so it's always good to see our guests and be able to share the drawing side of it. We get to hear the writer or the artist talk about that, and it just endears our audience and be able to get them to know a little bit more about our guests and things like that. So that being said, let's talk a little bit about let's do a little bit of our Comics Cast housekeeping. So Rick, if you'd be so oh, look at that. He's got it ready to go. And here is our Indie Comics Cast YouTube page. Just know that on Facebook, we are just Comics Cast. And on YouTube, you have to add Indie in front of it. So it's INDIE. And you can see our plethora of videos. You know, we've been around for a year and a half, I think. Sometimes it feels like it's longer. But you can see all of these wonderful videos of past guests. This also includes the Artist Roundtable, the ART. This also includes Rick's awesome show. Rick, you want to talk a little bit about the famous 2 episodes that you did?
The famous 2 episodes of my mentor blog show with the two great teachers, Robert Mazzullo and Marius Renuk. No, you say it better. You said better.
You don't know how to. It's Rianico.
Rianico. Yeah, I knew that.
I got you.
Just testing you.
Yes, you can check out Rick's Mentor Block show. It was only 2 episodes. Hopefully, Rick will have some time and he can talk more about. He can do additional installments. But yes, they're fantastic. It's a produced show. It wasn't live, but you get to see Rick host a amazing artist and a up and coming artist, put them together and get some great instructional tips. So I encourage you to check that out. The co-founder of Comics Cast, Joe Tolliver, has inside the indie artist studio. He has several episodes that he's putting together as well. So I encourage you to check out our plethora of videos, and you can see all that we have to offer here. Again, we want to promote the indie creators, and today is no exception. So let's get all this stuff out of the way because, it's not about us. It's about our audience. So Roy's already saying, love your background, Rick. Didn't know you were a fan of K-pop. Yes, K-pop. If you know what that means, this is what that means. Oh, we got Chad showing some love here. So awesome. Thank you very much, Chad. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of the show, which is our guest du jour, our guest of the moment, it's a writer and audience team. So I'm going to do the virtual drum roll, or are you just going to drop them in, Rick? What's your call?
Yes.
Oh, you're just going to drop them in. Okay. Well, he didn't even answer. All right. That being said,
here we are.
I want to welcome I'm going to say the dynamic duo. We got Mr. Ashley You know, I pronounced it correctly, but now Cheatham.
Yes.
Right? Yes, I got it right. All right, Ashley Cheatham, and we got the man Leonardo Vincent, who has probably the best artist name ever.
I absolutely love that name.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, Leonardo. Leonardo is hailing from the great continent of Australia. So we got a 14-hour time difference. So I cut him some slack. We're just gonna see the talking icon for now. But it is like past 3 in the morning over there. So we're just happy to have him. We are happy to have Ashley. And like I said, they are a dynamic duo. They are the masterminds behind the hit Indiegogo campaign that was back in January, Grim Hero, but it's still available on demand within on Indiegogo. So if you look at the bottom, that is how you can follow them. That's how you can find them. That's how you can like and support them. It is also in the comment section, so please check that out. Not now, because we want you to watch this show. We want you to be on here with us, with these guys. So that being said, let's just roll right into it. We started a little late, so we want to, get all to the best, things about the show, which is our guests. So let's start the elevator pitch, and we're going to start this with Mr. Ashley Cheatham, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself. And now I'm going to pass the mic on to you. Here you go.
Thank you so much. First off, this is a moment because like I mentioned to the host that this is actually the first interview for Grim Hero that we've had since we started the campaign. So thank y'all so much for having us on board. I'm very excited. And let me get right into it. So Grim Hero, the concept is pretty much, what if the very thing that everybody unanimously fears, death, was actually the thing that can potentially save you in the end? So anytime anyone thinks of death, they think of the Grim Reaper, they think of the Black Cloak, the scythe, and just, the skeleton and stuff like that. Scary image, right? And my concept was, why don't I take that and switch it and make that into something that's actually a symbol of hope instead of a symbol of fear. So yeah, Grim Hero is that. What if the Grim Reaper were a superhero? What if the Harbinger of Death were actually a superhero? And our perception of who he is just what we think he is, right? So yeah, the story pretty much follows a Reaper, who's attempting to redeem himself for actually losing a soul. So in order to redeem himself, he wants to save a soul for the one that he lost. So we see him that he can only do this as immortal. So he has powers and stuff like that, but the lesson that he's going to learn is why, mortal heroes, why the people we consider heroes are who they are. Mortals that aren't immortal, that can die and yet still put their lives on the line, for other people, even other people who may not deserve it. And that's what the journey that I want to take the readers on with this particular character. So the character's name is Azra High. It's pronounced Azra High. And he is taking on the disguise or the guise of a hero called Darkstar. And give me 1 second. Mm-hmm. The images that are being shown right now, this is actually an image from the comic. That image right there, that's him actually in what they call the high court with the high judges. And that's him literally petitioning them to go on this mission, to redeem himself. So yeah, that I wanted to put that. I wanted to give you that picture because that's pretty much where everything starts.
Very powerful, very powerful. And as we're going through here, I know that you jumped right in to talk about Grim Hero. Let's talk a little bit about you in terms of your influences, things that maybe compelled you to come up with Grim Hero. I think we talked during our pre-show. You obviously are a fan of some of anime, manga, and I think we talked a little bit about Image Comics, things like that. We talked about dimly. tell us a little bit about, your journey up to Green Hero. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so this started as in 2015, and the images that I actually showed you, the ones that I made, not the ones I drew, the recent ones that all the way up top. It started with this. So I was in art school, and I just learned Illustrator.
Yes, it's vector art.
And and I was so excited about being able to do this kind of art that I just spent a night just messing around with shapes and just everything. As a matter of fact, the shirt that I'm wearing right now, Dark Star's logo.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Check it out.
This was the first image that I ever made on Illustrator. So I wanted to make like I kind of wanted to play around, make kind of like a Transformers looking thing. But then that developed into the picture you actually see right here. Yeah. This was the first thing. I was inspired by Mega Man. And I looked at it. I was like, you know what? Why don't I make kind of like a Mega Man like type thing? I don't know if anybody's aware of a clothing line called Bathing Apes or Bait. Yep. And that's a Japanese brand, and they kind of make characters that look kind of like the small guy all the way on the shoulder. Right. And that guy, that's Dark Star in the embryo stage. Okay. That guy right there is Dark Star in the embryo stage. That was the start. I had no idea. At that time, he wasn't even called Dark Star. If you look at the caption, it says the Kid and Big Z. So his name was just the Kid. So, because I had no idea. At first, I thought I was just going to like make images for like shirts and stuff like that. Right. So that's what I was thinking. I was going to do like kind of like a Bathing Ape type brand, influenced by Japanese culture, Japanese art and stuff like that. And that was the first thing. But then my co-writer now came up with another character. He was just like, I like that. And I was like, well, why don't you just draw something else and I'll make that into the style of my character. Right. So what he did was he drew like this Mumra T900 hybrid.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I'm running with it. And that's where you get Nikolai. He actually has been Nikolai since day one. Like for the longest time, we had no idea what to do with these characters. I showed them to people. People were like, oh, that looks great. That looks nice, But for the longest time, we just didn't know. So we just kept making characters in that image. There's actually a picture of a whole bunch of characters all at once. Go up a little bit. Yep, right there. So 3 of these characters actually have became staples in the story. But at the time they were just called the Thriller Knights. And we wanted to kind of like make a kind of like a monster mash. Right. And like everything that inspired you from the 80s, the 90s, and stuff like that. So I made a character inspired by Michael Jackson, in the Thriller. That's also in a character that's inspired by Mega Man and Super Sentai and stuff like that. Jason. Yes. It was just a collection of just different characters that are staples of an era. So that's where it started. Yeah, that's where it started, and the whole crew was called Thriller Knights at the time, and we were going to make it this like shirt brand. And today they're something completely different. But the styles actually evolved. The styles actually evolved as I continued to mess with them. As you see, I started to actually make the Kid a character instead of someone who just got a cape on all the time. I ran with the Mega Man theme, but then I started to follow the IDW Power Ranger books. Mm-hmm. And I really love what they're doing with the Power Ranger thing. So I was just like, why don't I just kind of like, instead of Power Rangers, let me go to Kamen Rider. Yes. Let me mess with Kamen Rider. And what I was gonna do, the image right here, I was going to kind of make the kid the hero and make these guys the villains, right? It was going to be Nikolai and this monk guy that were going to be like the villain for the kid. And what ended up happening was I ran with the monster thing even more. I was like, you know what? Why don't I not even make the kid the kid? Why don't I combine? Why don't I make the villain the hero? Why don't I just take that guy and just make him a hero? And that's where the story actually blossomed. From there, I just started to run with that. The images that I drew of him, you know, with other Reapers and stuff like that, I just knew it's like, this is something. This is definitely something. But yeah, it just started from a couple of images that I messed with on Illustrator for the first time in school.
Yeah, that is great because, you know, you know, we talked a little bit in the pre-show, and I wanted to be surprised about this. We talked a little bit about how, you know, your graphic design background, and I can definitely see the visuals, you know, and the vector artwork, and how it's funny that you talked about it was going to be a clothing brand, and now it's a comic book. But you know what? From this, you know, it's merchandising. I think that you could easily translate this new look, this evolving style that you came up with, and it could be, you know, a T-shirt. It could be a heck, you know, let's go back up a little bit here. We got album cover artwork. We got music that we can talk about as well. But let me just flash through this really quickly. I want to give everybody a taste of what the interior artwork looks like, and it is phenomenal. You can obviously see there is some Japanese manga and anime influence in here too, but all in a good way. I mean, this is like it has that nice feels to it, but it's taking it to a different level. You know, I think that when you look at this, it's so professionally, so well done. And these character concepts, you know, it's evolved from that blocky vector style.
Yeah.
Now we're starting to see these really, really interesting concepts. And it has so much of the things that we love. I don't know if any of our audience is a big fan of Japanese anime and manga, you know, there are archetypes, there are things that we all are drawn to, and it has just enough of those familiar archetypes to engage you, but you can see them as they stand on their own. They're different. They're uniquely Ashley's, and we're going to see this in Grim Hero. And I'm going to scroll through this real quick. And Ashley, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about some of these concepts, or, you know, before we get Leonardo on here, but just some really phenomenal, you know, character designs.
Yes. I'm not good with pronouncing the interior artist's last name, so I'm going to say Deddy K.
Okay.
Shout out to you. You know who you are. That's actually that's what I knew him as before I knew his last name. But he took the concepts that I developed. Actually, Leonardo made the cover for me before I hit up the interior artist.
Oh, wow.
So it was just, at the time, it was just the covers he did for me and my, you know, the two character profile pictures that I drew. And that's what I pitched with. And what Deddy K did was just pretty much just maximize. As you can see, the image that you just put up, that was the first thing that he went with. Right. He was kind of like doing his take on it. But what happened was Leonardo's art was so well done on the covers for the original stuff. I was like, all right, we got to go back. Like, we have to do what Leonardo did. We have to run with it. It was too good. I was like, if people are going to see this on the cover, they got to get it in the comic.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's the story with that.
Oh, that is so awesome. And I think that's a good transition here because, you know, we talked about because the interior artist is different from the cover artist. And the cover artist is who we have as a guest today that's coming on with Ashley. And like I said, he has like the most fitting, awesome name for just an awesome artist, you know, when you think of Leonardo, I don't know too many Leonardos. I only know Leonardos from art history. And when I think of Leonardo, I think of two things. It's either Leonardo da Vinci or it's Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And those are both things that you want to put together for a nerd like me, an art nerd, a comic nerd. That can't be any better company to put this artist in because Leonardo Vincent is our artist, part of this dynamic duo, and we're gonna go into his elevator pitch right now. So let me transition to that PDF. And Leonardo, the mic is now in your hands. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to get into how you guys met afterwards. So go ahead and tell us your famous backstory, your origin story. Let's hear it all.
All right. So hey guys. Yeah. So I'm a freelance illustrator. I'm mostly doing this as a hobby. And I'm actually a Master's of Architecture student at the moment. And yeah, just every time I'm stressed out about like school and stuff, just doing this as a hobby has been, really, really helpful for me. And yeah, I sort of began drawing since like I was a baby, I guess, because like my parents had a lot of paint and watercolor stuff around the house, and I just like to scribble around with those. I remember ruining like some of my parents' paintings, which was like actually like a commission, for work, and like they got really like upset about it. But yeah, just like I remember as a kid, there's this drawing I did in kindergarten, which was like Ultraman, like fighting against like buildings. I've just been a fan of like tokusatsu as a kid, and yeah, and my love for comics sort of also expanded when I saw the Spider-Man movies. Like I thought those were incredible. Loved watching them with my parents, and I remember like there's this magazine called the Wizard. I don't know if you guys have that in the U.S.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, and yeah, it's not a big thing in Indonesia, but I got around to those, and like just whoa, like it's a massive eye-opening experience of what comics could be. And yeah, just been really into comics and a lot of henshin stuff. And I gotta say the biggest influence for me was like Ben 10. Like I really loved that growing up, and I feel like that sort of encapsulates like my love for henshin and also like Western sort of pop culture.
Yes.
And you just love the character designs. Thomas Perkins was the character design for Ben 10, and just really love like his like imagination. He's a massive inspiration for me. And yeah, I remember like when I started on DeviantArt, like it was really nice to actually got a chance to sort of talk to him a little bit, and that was really encouraging for me to go on this sort of journey. And yeah, at one point, and like in my high school, I remember also met some of my friends that I gotta say like they're pretty high standards. They weren't impressed by a lot of my works, and I feel like that really helped. Like, it motivated me even more. Like just because I just I wanted to sort of be able to impress them and stuff.
Right.
And yeah, just I feel like yeah, they're actually like that kind of criticism and stuff is really helpful as well in my art journey. And yeah.
Well, that's
yeah.
I'm gonna give a little bit of an inside secret in terms of like because I always try and do like pre-shows 24 hours before it. For this particular show, we did our pre-show like 2 hours before this show, so it was definitely down to the wire, but it was so worth it. I saw Leonardo's artwork, and talking with Ashley yesterday about his artist here, Leonardo's work. It's so captivating. I think we've seen a lot of things here about comments about people talking about what we're seeing here on the screen, and my jaw was on the floor. I mean, I was basically just looking at this stuff, and we look at it just from a composition standpoint, stellar work. But the colors are just so rich, and just they come off the screen, and they demand your attention. And
so much depth in them. It's amazing work.
Yeah, it's life.
Thank
There's
you.
so much life in it. And then when we look at this too.
What were you saying you were educating yourself to? As
Architecture.
Architecture.
Architecture. It kind of. I thought so. It kind of comes off in your art as well, in the way you have set it up and everything. It really makes it quite unique.
Yeah, I agree completely. You know,
Thanks.
And I was joking with him. I said, we don't even see buildings in these backgrounds. And so I'm like thinking to myself, when Leonardo decides to put in some of his architectural stuff, I think maybe it's because he said this is a stress relief for him. So I think the last thing he wants to draw is a architecture thing in the background when he wants stress relief. But you know what? It is still
That's right.
amazing. Yeah, it is still amazing to see that.
It looks absolutely breathtaking. I instantly followed you on Instagram. It's really great work.
Thank you.
Following up on composition and color, because this is, I think, when I talked to Ashley during the pre-show, he was looking for that edge that Grim Hero need to have, and I think what was so captivating about Leonardo's work is he has that edge. It's one thing to have good composition skills, but the color theory behind it is just exceptional. And I want to talk to your parents about those failed commissions that you ruined when you were a kid, because you know what? I think those are worth something now. I think we're gonna see those go up in value. Hopefully they won't throw it away. But here we are. We have Attack on Titan. I'm a big fan of this, and when we see this Eren in his Titan form, and then you see we were just talking about these effects that you have in here, and it's. People can over-render things. Artists can get carried away. And what I like about it, you do these colors, which are so vibrant and so rich, but you're finding ways to do less is more as well. I think these lightning effects could have easily been, with lots of lines and crazy pops and Kirby crackle and all that other stuff. But no, you just used a white negative space technique, and it just makes it that much more powerful, and it leads your eye. I think that what is it, Ashley? We're from schools of graphic design, so we know how that's important in terms of building a nice composition. So it's so great when you can see something and just appreciate it for what it is. You don't know what it is because it just works, and then you know what it is when you're actually a student of design, because all these things, whether it's drawing your eye, having something central, something that's a visual element that ties you, points you to it, these are all things that Leonardo is doing. And I want to talk about one other thing, because this is.
I got a question before you go too far away.
Drop that in.
From Roy Mercado. Let me just say, Vincent, a lot of amazing artists we've had on the show before is dropping comments about how much they like your style right now in the comment section.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much,
and
guys.
I completely agree with them. It's like really it's unique, really great, and I'm sure if I see this anywhere else, I would instantly be able to say, okay, this is Leonardo's work.
Thanks so much.
But the question came from Roy Mercado. He'd like to know if the compositions is formulaic or just pure instinct when you start a piece, or does that depend on the piece you're working on?
Right. So yeah, they started as like pure instinct, but I think that's like some of the architecture influence, kind of being methodical and sort of actually thinking more about planning a piece and what to do with that composition when you have a concept, and sort of what the story that the composition could tell would really elevate the drawing. And I feel like, yeah, just a lot of Japanese artists really influenced me on that sense as well. I'm a big fan of Yusuke Murata's work. Massive inspiration is incredible. And yeah, so right now it's a bit of both, but I try to be more formulaic these days, yeah.
That was a great question, Roy, and always adding, because it is neat to hear about what the process is behind it. And of course, working with Ashley, there's going to be a little bit more direction that's given, but seeing this fan art, it's like you only have yourself to answer to, and when I look at this particular piece, I was drawn to this one especially because this is an example of less is more. This is an example of effective use of color as well as positive negative space. It is so strong to me because you are using it's monochromatic or or actually, it's the way that you, not monochromatic. It's a duotone. You know, you have two colors here, but you're using these positive negative space with the background and the foreground, and it's still so striking. Big fan of Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and just seeing what Miles Morales with his game, and the new Spider-Man iterations, the video game, how they're able to like come up with new costumes, and just seeing this, his body language, you know, him looking off to the side, just some really neat attention to details. And just like Rick said, now when I see Leonardo's work, I'm just gonna like, yeah, that's instant. That's something that is uniquely his, and it's something that's going to be translated to Grim Hero. And I think that's where we, you know, I went through all this stuff, and I'm going to go back to the Grim Hero PDF that we had shown, because now we get to see these are the commissioned covers that Leonardo did for Ashley. And I would like the two of you guys now to talk a little bit about your relationship in terms of how you guys found each other, because, you know, like we mentioned, Leonardo is in Australia. You got a 14-hour time difference between him and Ashley. So through the miracles of the internet, collaborations like this can happen, but it has its own hurdles. It has its own things, its time zones. But there's just a great story, I'm sure, that's to be told about this. So Ashley, I'd like you to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so
it was as simple as just sending the email and just actually before I even found Leonardo, I was just searching. What I did was I literally spent a day or two to just search not just good artists, but something that as soon as I saw it spoke to me. And I just went through DeviantArt, I went through Instagram, I went all over the place and just had a list. And then just from that list, before I even really sent any emails out, I ran across Leonardo's work. I believe it was on DeviantArt. And when I saw it, granted, I don't remember whether or not he had a post that said he was doing commissions, but I didn't care. I was just like, I gotta work. I gotta just reach out and just hope. All I had at the time were just my drawings, and in my head, I'm thinking, all right, this is all I got. I only got my pitch and these two profile drawings. And that's what I led with. I knew out of everybody that I hit up, Leonardo was the one that I really wanted to hit me back. So when he finally hit me back and said he was interested, I was beside myself. But as you can see, what he did was he took those pictures that I drew and just made them come to life. Just looking at him, the first one that he sent me, I believe it was, I'm trying to think, and Leonardo could correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the first one that he did was the pink one, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And that one, as you can see, it's just like, it just pops. It just pops. The character designs, everything. Even though he stayed true to what I had originally drew, still there was something about it that was just so amazing. It was like I was looking at my artwork for the first time. It was like I was looking at these characters for the first time. So I just knew from the first cover, I was like, this is it. Like, he's the one. He got the attitude of the characters right. I believe I mentioned this to him too. It's like, just in one picture, he was able to capture everyone's personality. And yeah, that blew me away because all I had was just real brief summaries of what these characters were about, who they were and stuff like that in my pitch. So I'm just, that's pretty much how it started. This is actually the first time I'm actually even hearing Leonardo's voice on this podcast. So this is almost like we're meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, these 3 pictures, 2 of them are covers. This is actually the original cover, the one that's going to be distributed.
Right.
The variant cover is the pink one, and the poster that a lot of backers are going to get, according to whatever tier they get, is the one when it's him in an alternate costume with flying with other Reapers. That's actually my favorite, low key.
Okay.
Yeah, this one actually is based off of the manga artist, the interior artist's first design of the character. So when I saw that, I was like, don't change nothing, just keep that. I'm telling you, Leonardo has the Midas touch.
Oh,
even if you're not a fan of a certain design, he can make you a fan. So that's what happened with that. I was like,
Yeah,
we're just gonna run with it.
I completely agree, Ashley, because normally I'm not a big fan of the anime style that is shown here, but as you just said, Leonardo makes you a fan.
Yes.
And I'm completely a fan. I absolutely love it. Leonardo, I got to ask you though, is it just me, or is there some hint of Kenneth Rocafort in there as well? I see a little at least. Like, is he one of your? Is he one of your artists?
I'm not quite sure with the name, but it could be like an image I saw that inspired me. Yeah.
It's just your overall way of painting reminded me of his. He's also one of my absolute favorite artists of all time. So
Right.
Yeah, Leonardo, do you want to add to that? Because I know that Ashley said he just reached out to you through an email after seeing your artwork. I mean, when you got like that message, you're like, what? Somebody wants to like get me to do cover art for you? I mean, is this for real? Is it? And to quote Ashley, when I approached him, he was like, "Is this legit?" So was it some Facebook bot, out there to like, come after me? So Leonardo, what was your impression? Have you done any type of like professional artwork before Ashley approached you?
Yeah. So before, I've already been doing a little bit of like commissions of people asking me to draw their original characters, but like honestly, like Ashley's like work really like stood out. Like, whoa, there's like the specific style, and I just like understood what you're going for. And yeah, I'm just surprised to learn as well that these are your artwork that you sent me. Like, I thought you hired an artist in that one. So yeah, man, really good stuff. And yeah, like the color palette and everything, I just like understood the aesthetic, and I think that was like really inspiring. And just it's been really great working with Ashley, because not a lot of people are quite flexible, and Ashley, I feel like very easy to work with, and yeah, allows me to sort of have like artistic freedom, and I'm really glad that you enjoy sort of what I sort of do with your characters. Yeah, it's just been really cool working with Ashley.
Yeah, that's always good to hear, because it's very, you can have the most talented writer and the most talented artist be put together, but if they don't vibe, if there's not some sort of synergy, if there's not synchronicity, if there's not some sort of connection, whether it's shared influences or like mutual inspiration, things that you can pull from that connect you together, it's not going to happen. It's not gonna look good. And I'm looking at this; it's looking good. I mean, it looks phenomenal. Going back to composition of these the color composition of these covers. I mean, who would have thought to put these colors together? I mean, we talk about aesthetics. It's like we got like these lime greens and these fuchsias and these pinks and these purples, and it's like, why would you put those together? But yet you don't think that would be color disharmony, you would think. But when Leonardo puts this together under the, I think we're going to see some of the artwork, because Ashley is a talented artist in himself. He kind of like established the color palette, and just like Ashley sort of said, Leonardo ran with it. He just took that color palette, that aesthetic, and he multiplied it 100 times. He just took it to that next level. And where you see shadows or highlights, you think they would be a certain color, and here, there, you got these lime greens. I mean, they're just, who would have thunk? Just incredible. And, I've experimented with color, and I've seen like this particular style. It's hard. It's difficult. I mean, just try rendering things traditionally and rendering them with traditional color palettes or color palettes that you think are harmonious. Then try it with this. And it's, I think that that question that Roy asked about it being, instinctive, this is instinctive. This is a formula you can't really replicate. You can sample these colors and you can try and put them in your own art, but you have to have that instinct. And I think that's what Ashley honed in on right away. He said, Leonardo has this instinct. He has great composition. He's able to put up, create these great, art pieces and take it to that next level, amp it up, with these colors. So let's keep the show moving along. I want to show these things because this is where we're going to get into.
Can I stop you? You again?
Yes.
Because we got another question from Roy, and he asked how much time did you spend, Leonardo, on that particular cover there? Because a lot. It seems like a lot of thought and work went into that.
Right. I think it's around 3 days on and off.
3 days. Wow.
3 or 2 days. Yeah.
And one work day for you is like the average 12 hours, like a lot of freelance artists decides to put down, or less?
I was doing school, so not that long.
Oh yeah, right. Of course, sorry.
I gotta give credit to my iPad Procreate, because like it just like enhances my productivity, makes it so easy to just draw and while relaxing at the same time.
Yeah.
And
shout out to Apple.
Yeah, shout out to Apple.
Please sponsor us, Apple.
Yes, please send some free iPads and endorsements. We want to and Procreate. Is that what you said? You use Procreate?
Yeah, Procreate, definitely.
Yeah, that's a wonderful application. And now I can.
But I could imagine if you didn't have that, it would have probably taken way longer for you to be able to come back. Yeah.
Yeah, just phenomenal work.
But 3 days is good. That's fast. Impressive.
Thanks.
So yes, as continuing on with the show, we want to move into the live drawing part of it, because I know if you're if you're like me, you want to see the art created, to see the magic happen, but I can't watch it happen because I'm drawing along too, so I have to watch it later on. But this is something that I know that Ashley has been looking forward to too, because he gets to, now that he's worked with Leonardo for an extended amount of time, he gets to see the process happen. This is what our audience gets to see, and of course, this is where Ashley gets to talk a little bit more about these characters as well. But before we get to that, I want to showcase what a phenomenal talent Ashley is in his own right. These are the character sketches that we're going to be drawing today. This is Dark Star, and this is Spectre Black. And like I said, I'm not going to get into going into what their AKA is. I'll let Ashley talk about that when we're live drawing. He can dig deeper into the role of the Reaper and who they are, what they're about. They're one of 4. I don't know. I get the 4 horsemen vibe to it. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but there are 4 of them, and we're going to be drawing 2 of them. So I want to give everybody a heads up that's in our audience. I encourage you. I see Roy's been commenting, and I saw Timothy was out there. I know there's lots of good artists that are here in the that are watching along. I encourage you guys to do that. And if you do, just go into the comments field. Let us know. Let Rick know specifically that you are drawing, and then post it to the art show, which is our sister page, and he will be more than happy to pull that up, because I know, Ashley, if I had an IP, I had OCs, and I got to see people fan arting my stuff, that would be awesome. That would be great. So, Roy, no pressure. I want you to draw.
Oh, there's pressure. That's pressure, Roy. All the pressure.
And Timothy, I would love for you to see your interpretations. We're getting a lot of comments in there, a lot of admirers of both what Ashley and Leonardo are doing. So show some love by doing some fan arting along with us. So again, do a screen capture of this. This is the first one, Dark Star. You can see that, like I said, I'm going to let Ashley go into to dig deep into these characters to tell more about them, but do a screen capture of this, and I'm going to leave it in the background so Rick can pull this up too, maybe midway through our drawing challenge. And just like all my other shows, when we're out here, this is Rick's favorite part, because he gets to do the talking and I get to shut up, and I get to do the drawing.
Yeah, I can ask questions without having to violently interrupt him.
That's right.
I love that part.
Interrupt me. So I'm gonna set up my art cam. We're gonna go ahead and pull up. Do your screen capture right now. This is Dark Star, and then we're gonna add this to the stream, which is Leonardo's. He's gonna be doing digital on a Wacom, and I'm gonna get my art cam up. So my time to shut up. Rick, you take it over, and you and Ashley go at it.
Ah, great. Now the good part comes. So yeah, Ashley, let's start with the characters here that we're gonna do first. That was Darkstar, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh,
sorry.
by the way, the first one will be 15 minutes.
Okay.
For Leonardo and Gerald, and there was the people drawing along at home. 15 minutes for the first draw along. But yeah, sorry, Ashley, go on.
No, it's all good. So Darkstar, his name, his real name is Azrahai, and he's part of a race of Celestials called the Grimoire, and their home world is called Morda, and pretty much you would think just a Grim Reaper is just like, it's just one, but really there's countless amounts of Reapers, because there's a whole bunch of souls, not just on Earth but everywhere in that universe that they are assigned to. So the thing about Azrahai, first off, I wanted to depict a picture of him in his garb. Like I wanted his regular outfit to actually speak to his culture. I didn't want it to be typical, ripped up cloak and stuff. I figured if he's part of a celestial race, and he would look nice. He would if it was priestly, he would look nice. That's how I depict his race. That's how I depict his culture. There's a city that we focus on in the first issue called Grimira, where it's pretty much the capital of Morda. And that's where he's on trial. That's where he's petitioning the judges for this mission. And everyone has a real, it's not your typical scary Reaper look. Everyone looks like they mean something, like they're esteemed, they have an esteemed rank. And that's Azrahai there. But I don't want to give too much about his suit and stuff like that, so I'll save that. But in the Darkstar suit, I was inspired by Kamen Rider and Speed Racer to a degree. At first, like I said, in the process of making this character, I really didn't have a grasp exactly on what he was going to do, like what he's going to be about, So if you see in the same picture, there's a vehicle that's actually also in the first issue. But at first that was going to be his thing. He was going to have like something like a Batmobile type thing and the whole nine.
The Xenox.
Yeah. It was going to be like somewhat of a Knight Rider type thing. And that was going to be kind of like the thing. Instead of riding a horse, he was riding in a car. But I used the car for a different purpose in the story, but that was where I was going with it at first. And his suit was going to be more so technology. I changed that around because if you can see even in the picture, there's these things on his knuckles and stuff like that. And even if you were to zoom in a bit, there's certain things on his, like even on the red parts of his gloves, around his shoulders, around his boots, it's going to be like real technology based, but ran with something completely different with that too. I think people are really going to like what his suit actually can do, what it is. But yeah, that's where I went with that. The logo, as I was building the suit, the logo was something I had threw on at first because I had that logo since I was in school, but for the longest time I didn't know what to do with it. It was just there. And when I put it there, I was just experimenting. It just fit. It was perfect. And that logo was actually what I called the Star of Morta. That's the logo, the symbol of his people, the symbol of the Grimoire. So yeah, that's what we ran with. I definitely didn't want the suit to just have a bunch of stuff around. Like I didn't want to I didn't want to Rob Liefeld the suit where I just had a whole bunch of stuff going on for the sake of just granted. I love Rob Liefeld. I have a Wildcats and Youngblood comic up there for a reason. That's nostalgic for me. But for this particular character, I really wanted everything about him to be intentional. So I just simplified it, just to the black kind of like Kamen Rider, because the Kamen Rider suit can be like a padded biker suit if on a normal day. But I went with that. I'm inspired by the whole Super Sentai Kamen Rider thing. I did want to incorporate that influence even in the action scenes in the comic. You're going to see that. As cheesy as people can say, yes, it is cheesy, but I love it. And it is an inspiration. Speed Racer, one of the first animes I've ever watched. Just that whole, it was Speed Racer, and then there was an anime called Red Line.
I remember that.
Oh, nice.
An amazing. To this day, I really wish we would get more animes like that, more movies like that. I miss those. But Red Line, I loved the concept of it not just being a race, that these racers could actually be their own characters apart from their cars. Mm-hmm. It was just like a story with just the character, and I ran with that. The car is like, that's something I actually want to really delve into in the second one. What the car can do, what the suit can do, all of that. But for the first go round, what you're going to get is what you see in the character profile. You're going to see the car, but you're going to really get to know what drives Dark Star, what drives Azra High, why he feels so passionate to be able to set aside his immortality and to put it all on the line for this mission. So yeah, that's pretty much the concept of Dark Star, of Azra High. So
it's really good. I haven't seen much anime, but I have my first anime was Akira, and
yeah,
for some reason I also see a little in there, especially in the car.
Yeah.
So I do see the concept. I never actually watched Kamen Rider because it wasn't really popular. I'm from Denmark, so not everything came up there. But the cheesiness was there in the likes of Power Rangers. So and you gotta love that kind of cheesiness. And as far as I've been told, it's kind of the same sort of cheesiness that Kamen Rider sometimes showed up in a good way. So to go back a little, I know you talked a little bit about yourself, but I saw your comics behind you and your Tekken figure.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that is Jin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Jin. It's Jin, and Yoshimitsu is kind of blurred but he's there.
Oh yeah, I see him now that you're saying he's there. Yeah. So have you always been a comic book cartoon and gaming fan? How did it all start? When did you know that you wanted to make your own?
I knew that I wanted to make my own comic when I saw Fist of the North Star for the first time. So
Nice.
Fist of the North Star, that I saw that, I believe I was 10 years old. And it was like an overload of everything I've ever wanted because it was like Mad Max, Bruce Lee, and Powers. And I saw that day, and I believe it was Fist of the North Star. It was me and my cousins. We were at a family gathering, and they were watching it, and it was Fist of the North Star, and then right after that, it was Voltron, right? And from that moment, I just really, I dreamt about one day making something as cool, making something as awesome. It was actually an obsession. One of my cousins really loves the genre and of comics and manga. And he really kind of fueled that flame. He loved to draw, and I just wanted to be like him. I wanted to draw like him. Shout out to Jason. I really, from that day, it's just like, it just kept growing. It just kept growing. I would go to comic shops, and it's funny because I was literally learning as I went. When I went to comic shops to look for manga, then I ran into comics. And, it was the 90s at that time. So this was a time where this is like a whole bunch of experimental stuff. It was crazy. It was wild. But still, I got thrown. I feel like I almost got thrown into the world. And I've been a part of it ever since. I've always wanted to create not so much just a comic or an anime or a manga, but I wanted to do for someone else what these animes and these comics did for me at that age. When I saw the Fist of the North Star, that's a moment. That was a moment that I'll never forget because it was just something that was just like, it just established itself in my life. It was an art form I wasn't familiar with before that time. So once I was introduced to it, I didn't even know it was called anime. I didn't even know it was Japanese animation. I just knew this particular style. I would see it when my cousins would play Street Fighter 2 and stuff like that. I'd see it when they would play RPGs. I'd see it. And I'm like, what is this? What is this particular? This doesn't look like everything, certain other things. Shoot, this doesn't look like most of the cartoons that used to come out in the 90s that were American cartoons. Like when X-Men on Fox Kids came on and stuff like that. It didn't look like X-Men. It didn't look like Spider-Man. It looked like something different. So, when I finally found out what it was a wrap. That from that point, I guess
you were lost forever.
Yeah.
In a good way.
But yeah, like even the space that I'm in right now, the comics that I got up are particularly comics that meant something to me at that age. Like Wildcats. Wildcats was a good. It was interesting because I bought the action figures for Wildcats before I even knew what the comics were. So I just saw the action figures. I saw the action figure for Grifter and for, I believe his name is Sparks or something like that. No, it was Grifter and Zealot. And and I'm looking like, what is this? It was just like, I walk into Toys R Us one day and it's just like, wait, what? Wildcats? And then there was a cartoon on USA, and it was the perfect time for me to be introduced to any of that stuff. The 90s, this is what they were doing. So even though some may argue that the comics may not be all that great, they hold a special place in my heart. So I got them up there, along with the Planet Hulk and Civil War and stuff like that. But some things are personally special to me. So
I get it. It's special for different things for different people. After all, I mean, one of my favorite stories you just mentioned it is Planet Hulk. As the more recent ones, and Wildcats I was big into as well, because that was the first really gritty comic that was here in Denmark that was out of the norm. Normal we only got Spider-Man and X-Men, And then suddenly they decided to put in some Wildcats. And I was like, who the heck is these guys? And I was just immediately sold, and I had to find out more.
Yeah.
Right. I miss those days.
Yeah, for sure. But those days are coming back with all these indie creations, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I seriously, I've been doing this comics cast here for a bit of time now, and the people I see here and their creations, and it's coming back. It's coming back in the right way, in the control of the creators, and not some big company. And it's really nice to see.
Yeah.
And 5 more minutes, guys.
5 minutes. Oh shoot.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree 100% with you. I like it. I like it that it's the way it is right now, where indie creators are the ones that are literally changing the dynamic of things. Like the ideas that people are coming with. Yes, it's a literal resurgence of that originality, that how can I say it?
That Image comic that Image brought along and Dark Horse brought along back in the 90s. Yeah.
Right. Back when before Jim Lee was huge and he was making like Witchblade and stuff like that. Like I still think the whole concept of releasing a toy with a comic is still genius. The whole when Todd McFarlane released his Spawn action figures with a comic.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I had actually gotten, someone actually gave me that as a gift, as a Christmas gift. And for whatever reason, my mother thought, she was like, what is that thing? She's real old school. She's real old school Christian. So she saw that and she was just like, oh, we can't, throw it away. I was so hurt. It hurt. Because I loved it. It was the medieval Spawn too.
Oh shoot! She threw it away.
Oh,
she actually
wow!
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
And I was a kid. I was a kid at the time, so I'm looking at this thing. And I'm just like, I gotta throw this away. But mind you, I really loved, like, even with He-Man, they used to release comics with the He-Man toys and stuff like that. Yeah. Hopefully, one day we can get to a place where we can do the same thing, to be able to release figures with the comics and stuff like that. I just even love the idea of the packaging and stuff like that. Just that's a dream. That's a dream.
That can be done now. I do believe, will correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard about some people do it in a smaller way, not Todd McFarlane big with the toys, but like smaller toys. Mm-hmm. Alongside with the packages and all that. Seeing 3D printing is a thing now as well, so it's so much easier.
You got it. You hit the nail right on the head. That's the thing. The reality, just like independent
John Oettinger. I just got reminded. John Oettinger that was here a few months back. Mm-hmm. He does his own figurines that's with in his Kickstarters and Indiegogos.
Right. And Edgar,
so it can be done.
Yes, and Edgar Paston does too. I think that just like there's an indie movement in comics, there's an independent toy movement as well. And there's a lot of with 3D the advent of 3D printing, you can prototype a lot of things. And I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a mass market thing, but at least you can show what the potential is. And that's just going to be another arsenal in what you can sell to, maybe bigger toy companies and be able to show them what the potential is. And George Lucas, he's the pioneer when it comes to coming up with a toy to back up his own franchise. And just some phenomenal stuff. I can't wait to get my own Grim Hero toys. So you definitely need to pursue that.
Definitely. If the information is out there, I definitely am all ears when it comes to that. I definitely want to pursue that.
We'll definitely help you look into it afterwards. Well, I can say we. I will. I will help you.
Yeah, I think I will too. If anything,
Because I like the idea. I like as you said, it brings reminders of the quote unquote good old days.
Yeah.
Like that we probably all in one way or the other were raised up on. I can't say with Leonardo. I don't know how young he is, but were you a 19s comic guy as well, Leonardo?
Not really.
he's
Yeah.
young. He's very young.
Okay.
But he has all those influences. He talked about Ben 10. Ben 10 had some of the coolest toys. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got some of those.
Absolutely.
And if you remember, I mean, just monsters. If you're a fan of like kaiju and monsters, and the fact that he had all those, he had a library of really cool alien species on his wrist. I mean, and he could become any of them. I mean, that was just really, Ben 10 was one of the best cartoons. I had to say probably the last iteration of Ben 10, because they kept on kind of rebooting it.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it as much as some of the older or initial variations they had.
Definitely.
But I'm with you, Leonardo. Ben 10, just a really, really good cartoon. It had great stories, great character designs, and it's so cool that you said you talked with the creator or one of the.
Yeah, well, now, sorry to interrupt, Leonardo, but now Jerry is just trying to move the conversation along because he knows time is up, and he wants to have more time. But Gerald, it doesn't work with me, buddy. You know that.
I want to know these things.
Yeah, pencils down, buddy.
Right.
Oh, is it time's up?
Yeah, time's up.
Let's see what I can finally look at this. Why are you showing mine now?
I'm not. I was doing this.
Oh my gosh! Look at the attitude in this.
Absolutely great.
I was just expecting black and white sketch stuff here, and now Leonardo obviously just bringing in his color theory talents. Into
when he put the background to pink, I was like, oh yeah, here we go, the good stuff.
It's like, yeah, I don't think that Rick has ever been excited about. Well, I think it's more of a magenta, but if you want to say it's pink, I don't think these colors have ever excited Rick as much.
I'm colorblind, damn it.
So anyway, he sees Leonardo dropping in some color, and oh my gosh, I mean, look at this. And I love how you got that really hot kind of like neonish lime green that you put on there. The rim lighting that you put on his helmet. I mean, it just I think you're gonna be tired of just like praising you. So anyway, Ashley, what do you think about this?
I get it now. This is, if you were able to knock this out, I'm literally watching him piece this together while we're talking and trying my best not to fan out.
Yeah.
While we're talking, so I could, be professional.
Same here.
Looking like, I can't believe he's doing this. Like, just like that. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. I love
15
this.
minutes. 15 minutes, and this is already could be considered like a finished sketch.
Yeah.
Right.
So Leonardo, you want to talk about why you put him in a suit? Is this something that you kind of wanted? I know you did that Gundam piece.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of that Gundam piece that we showed earlier. Is this going to be like a series? You're going to do all these characters that you love and put them in suits? And
yeah. That was basically the inspiration when you were talking about that Gundam piece I did, and I thought it'd be cool to put Dark Star in the suit. And yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you that Leonardo is so good that he inspires himself. How about that? I am so inspired by that as well. So, Rick, did anybody in the art show draw along with us? I hope Roy and
got one here from Victor Rufino.
Oh, Vic is in there. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Vic is one of these. He's a very methodical artist. So for him to do these speed challenges is phenomenal. I see he's kind of like ripping my style by doing the worm's eye view, kind of the upshot. And I'm going to tell you, Victor, you pulled it off great. I love that. It has a nice attitude and about it. What do you guys think about it? What do you think about it?
Let's go first. Me? All right.
You go first.
I say the thing that hit me about this is it gives me, I've seen a lot of paintings and pictures of Ultraman and stuff like that. And I like the old styles just as much as the new, more so probably the old for the nostalgia feel.
Yeah.
And this gives me a nostalgic feel. It's just amazing. First off, that you were able to do this in this time span, but I love this. I really love how you used space like to make the give the material shine.
Yes.
Left some parts white and stuff like that, but no, I love it. I love the angle. I love the attitude. Like, yeah, you captured it. You captured Darkstar.
Awesome work, V. You want to say anything?
Completely agree. No, hang on. I am going to share something more.
Okay.
There's more to come.
Oh, great! So we're getting a lot of fan art. That's awesome. Let's check this out.
Yep, and this one is from Roy, who is angry at me that 15 minutes isn't enough.
Whoa!
Wow. Wow.
Roy. Roy.
Yeah, Roy is a speedy artist as well, Leonardo, and he also very good artist.
Right. Awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. The impact. That's actually something that I didn't want to just get someone who could just do poses for my comic. I really wanted to find someone who can really show movement and impact. And this, I love the fact that you went this route. It speaks a lot to your skill that you're able to do this and get this in the short span of time that you had. You got the blood coming out, the blood and spit coming out from the impact. Got the line work. Even the face of Darkstar, like just, I love it. I love it. The line work already is just like clean. Wow, Roy. I don't even know you, but I'm a fan.
You should definitely get to know him because he is an amazing artist, just like the two of you here. So yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Leonardo,
And,
does he have any?
I was told in chat that someone had a problem with uploading, but because they hadn't been approved as member. But we'll get back to them in the next run. So look out for them.
Okay. Oh, I just wanted to hear what Leonardo thought of Roy's work. Can you?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly what Ashley said. Like the impact really reminds me a lot of like Japanese manga, especially like how that like the splatters in white and stuff. I really like that. Yeah, overall it's really cool.
Yeah, Roy's great about less is more. He definitely likes to be he likes to put as few lines down and it's amazing when he can tell with just showing a few lines. And it's a great juxtaposition showing, putting it up, comparing that to Leonardo's style. Just seeing Ashley, I think that you get to see a wide range of interpretations of your character. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
so after seeing all these, I don't know if I even want to show my piece. Let's move. Me too. And I was gonna get ready to move it off cam.
Stop being like
nice.
This is amazing.
Actually, did my camera? Oh, I thought my camera. Oh, my camera seems to be choking a little bit.
You're choking.
But yeah, I wanted to make it look like he had been like I don't know, it's a typical anime pose, where the hero or the villain is reeling from being pushed back, and they're like kind of like grabbing the floor and trying to stop their movement going backwards, but he's unfazed and he has his skiff or getting ready to like bounce back and be able to exact some revenge. But yeah, awesome. I just really wanted to capture that energy that I can't do with colors or with lines like Roy does. So great first fan art here for me, for you guys. so
nice.
Okay, so let's go to live drawing.
I think Ashley was going to say something.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah, I get to comment on everybody else's.
Well, I'm nobody. We gotta like talk about the better people right here.
All right. So one thing that I'm very impressed with this, you were able to, in that short span of time, have such a dynamic picture drawn. Like that style, I really like how, even so, we were talking about impact and movement. There may not be a lot of lines, but like there's weight. And I just like the fact, I just like I like the proportioning. I like the stance. I like everything. I like the intensity, but all of that in a short span of time. Like, you talk about everyone else, you're a great artist yourself.
Oh, whatever. but I'm happy. I'm happy.
Djævel, if you've seen other of Djævel's art, you'll see that dynamic is basically his middle name, because he does it so freaking well. He makes things look moving without making a single line of movement in it, which is an effort in itself, really good. And
I appreciate that, but much to learn. I'm going to be studying Grim Hero. I'm going to be studying Ashley. I'm going to be studying Leonardo, because it's just another level. It's a level. We're talking about video games. That's a level that I want to attain. I'm going to be like spending hours trying to study you guys.
One more. Yeah, he finally came in.
Okay, great.
From our a completely new member, just joined today.
Okay.
Dikemba Romero.
Okay.
Let us see here. And here.
Oh wow.
I like
wow.
I like the. It's not an action pose, but it's kind of like an attitude pose. It's like
he's sitting on top of a roof and looking down, relaxed,
right,
or something like that.
This is great. I love the gesture.
I actually, I don't know who this is, but I would love for them to finish this. Like, I would love for them, maybe of course in their own time, but I would love to see the finished product of this. Because I love that pose. Like, wherever he's sitting, I just love how you were able to, like, once again, you got a lot of amazing artists on here. Yeah, I really want to see this, even if it's just in black and white, just to see it complete. Because I know he was building something really nice, really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of the style, the art style. He actually, as far as the attention to detail, even the certain details in the gloves, in the boots, and stuff like that. Like, it's amazing that you were able to notice that. So,
and that was hard to see from the picture that I was able to show during the whole thing. So it was amazing he captured that.
Right.
It's really good work, Dikemba. And as Ashley said, please finish this. And share it with us on Art Show, so Ashley can see the final piece. Same for you, Roy. The piece you did where he's apparently beating me up. That's his words, because I give so little time.
Yeah.
But yeah, finish them up. Share them on Art Show. Share them on the Art Show, and I'm sure Ashley will stop by and give a comment or two.
Definitely.
Yeah, and Victor too. Make sure Victor, you can polish that up too if you want to, and I'm sure that Leonardo and Ashley would love to see the finished pieces. But again, thank you for all the audience contributions, and we're gonna keep the show moving right along because there's so much more we need to talk about. So we're gonna go to live drawing challenge number 2, which is affectionately known as the co-host challenge, and today's co-host is Rick. The
Rick challenge.
So yes, it's the Rick challenge, and it's for those of you who have not watched the show before, it's a surprise. I don't know what it is. Our guests don't know what it is. It's a little bit of a fun thing where Rick gets to exercise his devious sensibilities and come up with something that's going to throw us for a loop. But
I'm not devious.
Yeah, it's all done in fun. It's all done in fun. So that being said, Rick, lay your deviant deviousness on us. How about that?
So Ashley has talked about a lot about Kamen Rider, so I had to put that into the mix, of course.
Mhm.
But also, I usually don't make it that easy just to say Kamen Rider, of course. So let's do it. Let's do it with a mashup of certain figures that I came up with, and to do that, we are going to use the famous Wheel of Gerald's Misfortune, as I famously call it. As you can see, I've put the wheel up here. There's a few names.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Captain Boomerang?
Yeah, well, Suicide Squad and all that. So I had to King Shark and Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, Thanos, Cookie Monster. And Ashley, I'd like to, if you got any more things you'd like to put in here. If you got any ideas to add.
Kermit.
Kermit. Oh no.
Oh, Kermit is already there.
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
Yeah.
Let me see.
You said Wildcats, so how about a member of two of the Wildcats?
Oh, okay.
Or Tekken, or Rob Liefeld characters. You know, it's completely up to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me see.
Although, like I said, go easy on us because you want to work with Leonardo again. So you're gonna pick something.
Oh,
you
okay.
don't want to like totally like.
Sarah, this is going to be a fun drawing, so this doesn't work.
No, let's not draw Gerald. Don't put Gerald in there.
Okay. So how about this, Krang?
Oh,
Krang.
From Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Krang?
Yes.
Oh,
who else, Krang? What other Krang do you know, Joe?
Well, at first I thought I heard Kang at first, and then and I was thinking of because that's relevant with the Loki series, but then it's Krang. Krang. Okay, let's put Krang in there.
Anyone else, Ashley, or do you 22 entries?
22.
Krang and Big Bird.
Big Bird.
Yeah, I actually thought of that, but so I'm glad that you also did.
Okay.
So we got Big Bird as well. Okay, so the challenge here is I'm sure Leonardo already has guessed it. I want a Kamen Rider suit.
Oh.
In style that looks like whatever character jumps on. Do you think that's not too hard, is it?
I hope not.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
it's safe to say my challenge is just for fun and games. It's not about being. It's just to throw people for a loop and have some fun.
Okay.
Right? So let's go with Leonardo. Do you want to go first, or do you want Gerald to go first?
You can go first. Yeah.
Okay, Gerald, go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Big Bird, not Big Bird, not Big Bird.
Dang, I wanted Big Bird.
Chewbacca!
Yes!
That's gonna be how do I do Chewbacca? He's like hairy, and the Kamen Rider suits are all like
Stuff himself in a Kamen.
No.
Okay, Leonardo, is there someone here that you don't wish for?
Peter Griffin.
Yeah, Peter Griffin.
I think Rick has his thumb on the scale here. He's probably like manipulating this.
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
I can see Krang in the Kamen Rider.
Ashley, Ashley. So now I'm gonna put it on you.
Okay.
Is Chewbacca too hard? Is Chewbacca too hard? Do you think for a Kamen Rider? No, it's not too hard.
See him stuffed in the suit, like
yeah,
uncomfortably fur. Just
okay.
Yeah.
I'm up for the challenge. I'm up for the challenge.
I gave you a way out there, Gerald, but I like Ashley. Ashley was like, nah. And for everybody, I'll just share this quickly for everybody at home. Again, look at all the names for a quick second. I want a Kamen Rider mashup with one of these characters. That is the challenge for anybody at home. You are free to pick whoever you want, and then these are the These are the people.
Mm.
All right, and because it's a tough challenge, I'll say 20 minutes.
Okay, let's do it. All right, just so
20
I'm
minutes.
clear, I got to do Chewbacca in the Kamen Rider universe, and Leonardo has to do Krang from Teenage Mutant Turtles, the brain, and he has to do that in the Kamen Rider. You know,
What
you
is
got
that gonna
easy,
look
Leonardo.
like?
It has to be a Kamen Rider Krang mashup. It's
Okay,
not just
okay.
Krang in the Kamen Rider universe. That'll be
Okay.
too easy.
Oh, okay,
It's
I
a
got
Kamen Rider Krang mashup and a Kamen Rider Chewbacca mashup.
Oh my gosh!
What?
All right. Okay, let's get onto this.
Are you happy or sad that you're not drawing along right now, Ashley?
I want to do Krang.
Well,
you
grab
know
the paper if you got any.
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
yeah, go right ahead. Yeah. Okay.
I could give you a spin of the wheel, like the rest of them.
Okay, I'll take a spin of the wheel.
Okay.
Oh, there we go, brave man.
He's gonna
Let's
do
go.
it. Okay.
Let's see again. Oh,
What did he get?
Samurai Jack.
Oh,
Oh,
that's pretty
nice.
cool.
you know who Samurai Jack is, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we got our challenges. The clock starts ticking when?
Whenever I'll be nice to Ashley. Whenever Ashley feels ready to start it.
Yeah, he has to get his drawing stuff together.
Yeah.
Oh, we can start.
Oh, we can start? Okay. All right.
Okay, let's start it. Let's start it now. Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Woo! Chewbacca.
So again, I have no clue about Kamen Rider, but you kept talking about Kamen Rider, so I thought, hey, maybe it's possible to make mashups in that way. And I just thought it'd be funny to put a lot of names in there.
Okay.
Leonardo, how much are you sweating right now?
Quite a bit.
He's not sweating.
All right. I'm trying to rack my brain in terms of like what kind of pose that I can come up with. Jeez, it's like tough.
Let's zoom in on Joel and see how nervous he is. Sometimes it's fun to be mean.
Sometimes fun.
Sometimes it's fun to be mean. He's spoken like a true villain there.
Yeah, I am the villain in everybody's life story.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, back to a little bit back to what we talked about last time about Grimoire. Sorry, Grimoire, right?
Oh yeah, the Grimoire.
Yeah, Grimoire. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the whole idea of you trying to not make him look like the Grim Reader, not evil, because basically I've always grown up thinking that being the Grim Reaper is a job. It's not something they do because they like it, and what they do isn't evil. It's not like they are killing the people. After all, they're just collecting the souls so they can get. So that they can get to the right places. And I really like that idea that you also bring that along in this sci-fi science fiction kind of way in your comic, which is really a different look. And I don't think in all of my years of looking at comics, reading comics, I never thought of anything like this. And it's really hard to find something that really jumps out as different these days and still be a quote unquote superhero comic. Was this idea something that just popped into your head one day, or was it a slow progress build up?
It was actually a slow progress because like I said, it started years ago and it didn't even look like how it does now. It literally evolved over time, and even the idea. I took some advice from Stan Lee. You know, he says that take something that people like hate and make it into a hero. So he said people hate spiders, so he made Spider-Man. So people at that time hated war profiteers or weapons dealers, and so he made Iron Man. So I know for certain people hate the thought of death, and if we can ever like have a picture of what death would look like, it's for us, it's the Grim Reaper, but who's to say that that's death? And I thought it would be interesting to just kind of play with that. It's just like, what if the Grim Reaper, what if it really was just us? We were just thinking that the Grim Reaper was death personified, but he's actually here to help. He's actually doing a service.
Yeah, I like that idea. Like we hear the stories of ghosts, and in my view, that's the spirits that the Grim Reaper never really got his hands on in some way or the other. At least that's how I've grown up to think of. That's why there's ghosts, because their souls weren't collected properly.
Right. So yeah, this idea definitely it surprises me what it is now. When it just started off as some kind of like Mega Man, Kamen Rider, Bleach combination, and now it's its own thing.
It is a really great idea, a really great concept, and I'm contacting you to get this on demand when we're done here. That's for sure, because I like the idea. I like the art that I've seen. Even though I'm not, again, the biggest fan of anime, is even the interior art that I've seen spoke very highly to me, alongside the story.
Thank you so much.
So, do you have any plans of how many issues there'll be in total, or are you going to take it by ear, so to speak, by how the demand for it is going to be?
Originally, we were planning on just having a 9-issue run. So I know when it comes down to manga or Shonen Jump, like normally manga is like, if I were to get one of my manga right now, it's made up of chapters, and those chapters are like issues just put together. So what we were going to do is just have like a 9-issue run, and maybe in the end just make those make volumes, like 3 volumes out of the 9. But I'm playing it by ear now because I don't want to limit the potential of being able to get more in depth with maybe a character, or just I can't predict necessarily what's going to take place from now and then maybe a day later. So I'm really just playing it by ear, but I do have a plan in mind with just 9 issues.
9 issues also sounds like it can be done, especially with how well your Indiegogo went, from what I can tell. It went really well. How did you get far? Did it get funded before it was over? Like
yes, it got funded. It's got over close to almost $500 over what was anticipated for your stretch goal. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that at the end. But yeah, it was successfully funded completely.
So and considering if we are the first time you're actually on a show, advertising for it, that's amazing. That just shows. It just shows that you got an idea that really interests people, and that must be a huge relief for you. That wow, people really get this.
Yes. That was actually my biggest thing. I was like, okay, nobody knows who I am. There's no guarantee that I'll actually be successful in this, but I just went with it. My friends say sometimes you just got to jump, right? And that's what I did. I just jumped. I had a good amount of art from Leonardo and my interior artist, and I just said, let's use what we got and see where it goes.
The amazing story of all. And do you ship internationally, or is it only national shipping?
We're shipping internationally.
Nice.
Yeah, they gotta ship it internationally because otherwise, how is Leonardo going to get his copy in Australia, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
I just ask this all the time because
I know. I'm just
I live in Denmark, and I know that some people don't do it, and sometimes I get sad when I find out that I can't get the comic.
Yeah, I know.
So it makes me happy when I see comics like this that I really want to read. I can get in my hands instead of just quote unquote just a digital piece, right? Because digital is fine and good to read and such, but there's still something about having it in your hand.
Right. That's that's actually where right now we had this situation with the printing that we're resolving right now, but I'm still really giddy about the fact that there's going to be a physical release of this. Like tomorrow, this first shipment comes in, and I'm ecstatic. I really can't wait. I know people who have read the digital copy. They already like the story. So it's a good place to be in, where it's like the story's good, but you know how it feels to have the actual thing in your hand. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, another comic we had some time ago called Bounty Bullfrog that was here. At first I only had to get the digital, but then when he made it possible for me to get it in hand, I had to buy that because the story was so good. As you just said, you had people like that as well, and that's also telling, because not only do they want to support you, but they've already seen the story, and yet they want to get they want to get the physical copy
right
after reading the story. I can only imagine how giddy you must be when stuff like that comes up.
Right. Also, it's a childhood dream that's coming true. Like I told you, if I can go back to 1990, whenever it was, when I first fell in love with this thing, and be able to tell the kid version of me, like, you made this, like, that's where I'm at right now. Like it really is a moment. I'm just relishing it. I'm just relishing the process, and the culmination of all that work that's been put into this. So,
and now you can go back and buy that Spawn figure that your mom made you throw away. It's like, no one's gonna tell you, like, no, you can't have that anymore. So I expect that that medieval Spawn is gonna be on the rack behind you.
It probably costs like a whole 2 weeks paycheck. Now,
you know what? I think that what's going to happen though is I'm going to predict that we're going to see some Grim Hero toys that are going to come out. If not the end of this year, you're going to be a mover and shaker on this. You're going to do some Grim Hero toys, and I would like to see some package design from Leonardo. I think that's going to be cool. It's going to have those bombastic colors, and yes. You know what? If those were on shelves, I really wish Toys R Us was still around. But,
right.
But if Toys R Us was still around, it would be great to see Grim Hero
Walmart
toys. Yeah, well, Walmart still isn't quite there yet. I still miss. I really think that kids are missing out with what Toys R Us was. Right. But yeah, I think that's going to happen. You got to put that on the to-do list, Ashley, and make sure that you reserve some time for Leonardo to get some package design in there for him, because he's still doing his architect thing, which I'm not going to say is a waste of time, but I'm just going to say it's going to be one of those things where you got to have something to have as backup. You want to go ahead and get that architecture degree, but I really think your calling is to do comic illustration, to do cover work, to take that stuff to the next level. And like I said, I think it's really good that we're on the show with you guys here because we get to showcase that talent.
10 more minutes.
10 more minutes. Okay.
Yeah. So Leonardo, how are you feeling about this challenge? I saw at the first you were struggling a little bit, but you're getting into it now.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult.
I'm resisting. I want to see what Leonardo's doing, but I have to not look at it.
Yeah, what you're doing is I like that. I like what Leonardo is doing as well, and I'm excited to see what Ashley is doing because
I want to see what Ashley is doing. Ashley gets
he is looking so focused at his at his table right now.
This is nowhere near my best work at all, but I'm just doing it because the fun of it.
Yes, that's what you got to do. You got to have fun.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm hoping that my challenges are fun for the people and also forces people, the artists, to be thinking a bit outside of the box, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
It definitely makes me think
pushing their creative sides.
Right.
Which is what I am a fan of, is when I see artists that I know go out of their safe space and do something that they might not like. I saw Jim Lee draw the Powerpuff Girls once.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I love that.
And I was like, okay, because that also shows what that the artists have different range than you might normally see.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He also did a really funny Scooby-Doo, a modern Scooby-Doo version. I don't know if you saw that. He did hipster versions. I was like,
wow, really?
Yeah, he actually, I think he actually did some covers for some Scooby-Doo Batman mashup thing from DC some time ago.
Yeah.
Really
I'm
good.
a big fan of Scooby-Doo, so I thought that was kind of funny the way that he
So, Alfred, you missed what the challenge ended up being. Basically, a Kamen Rider mashup with whatever character in my Wheel of Djevel's Misfortune landed on, and Djevel landed on Chewbacca.
Yeah. Chewbacca.
Leonardo landed on Krang.
Uh-huh.
And Ashley landed on Samurai Jack, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And just an
I'll say, Ashley, I think you got the easiest one.
Probably, which is gonna hurt even more when you see it.
I was hoping you'd be getting Cookie Monster or Big Bird, to be honest.
I wanted Big Bird. I wanted to. I would
Kamen Rider Big Bird. I can see it in my head.
Yeah, right. It's amazing.
So anybody drawing along, do me a favor and post a comment about which character you picked from the wheel. It would be interesting. Or you could wait and let us guess. Should we? Yeah, we should guess it. So you grew up with Kamen Rider. Did you ever watch Akira?
Yes. It's funny because at the time when I was really getting into anime, I watched a lot of anime I didn't really understand.
Oh, geez, that's an understatement. I don't understand half the stuff. Neon Genesis Evangelion? Does anybody really understand that?
I just sat and looked at the screen. Just a side note, I'm gonna get right to the question, but the first time before I even really knew what Evangelion was,
yes,
I bought an action figure.
That's cool design. I'm not gonna. That is, I'm with you, man. Buy the action figure. It's so cool.
Like before I got into Gundam, I bought a pack, the model pack.
Uh-huh.
So
that that seems to be your thing, that you buy the toy first and then find out, hey, there's a whole universe.
Right. But Akira, I kind of I kind of just overloaded my brain with just 2 anime I just didn't understand, just because of the fact that I kept hearing you need to see it. So it was Ghost in the Shell and Akira at the time.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell. Totally, yeah.
So at the time, I just wanted to watch anime because it's anime, and I looked at Akira the first time. I was like, "What did I just watch? Like, what?" I wasn't used to even ending like that.
Yes.
Where it's just like, what? Like, so for a while, I won't even lie, I was one of those. This is like, maybe I'm not a real anime fan because I really don't understand anything about that. And it was kind of the same with Ghost in the Shell, because it was just like, it sounded like a lot of techno babble.
Yes.
But when around high school and stuff like that, when I rewatched them and I understood, I was like, oh wow,
it means something totally different, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I think that's dope because it just gives you a newfound appreciation. So yeah. Akira. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I've watched Akira 3 times and I've read it twice and I still don't understand it. So it's not just you. I'm still like, why do I like this? It's so confusing, but there's so much good in it.
Yeah.
Like, and Rick didn't say he read the Japanese version because he doesn't read Japanese.
And it was the first manga I read and the first anime I watched as well. And I came from He-Man and He-Man and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to going to Akira.
That was whiplash.
That was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that was whiplash. You went from the most simple premise ever to the mind bending.
Exactly.
I know. I think I still have PTSD from it, to be honest. But yeah, after Akira, then I went to Berserk because I was told okay. I was told, no, you went too far. I was told I went too far and that it was a bad idea. So they gave me Berserk. And that helped me understand Akira a little bit better afterwards. But still confused the heck out of me.
Yeah, Berserk that's some pretty heavy lifting too. They have pretty big concepts that are there. But it's a shame that the creator behind Berserk has passed away.
Yeah.
And wasn't able to complete his vision, the story. Hint, George R.R. Martin. He needs to get his button gear and get Game of Thrones.
That's probably where George R.R. Martin got the idea of never finishing up.
No.
2 more minutes, guys.
2 more minutes. Ugh.
Don't me.
So
how dare.
Let's talk a little bit more about influences. I know we talked about, Ashley talked about Image Comics. He talked about Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, and stuff like that. What pop culture stuff are kind of influencing you guys now? And this is for both you and Leonardo to talk about. Like what IPs, what franchises are going on right now that are making impressions on you? I know it's kind of tough because when you got stuff that came out like Wonder Woman 84, which I don't know if you loved it, but I didn't. But what current like stuff that's out there right now that it's influencing the work that you guys are doing, or maybe just making you think about stuff?
Leonardo could go for that.
Okay, Leonardo, that's you. You go first.
Yeah, I just saw Suicide Squad yesterday. I thought it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It was incredible.
Okay.
It is I agree, Leonardo. What it's in one of my top movies of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to beg to differ, and I'm going to let Ashley and I saw eye to eye on this. So I'm going to let Ashley. Ashley, you tell him. You tell him what your thoughts are on Suicide.
All right.
No.
Yeah.
Ashley are going to tell us what his inspirations are.
Yes.
Don't change the subject just because
I want to thrive on controversy here. I want to. Like,
there's no controversy that me and Leonardo got better taste than you guys. That's not controversial.
no.
That's just how it is.
That is exactly the reason why Ashley has to speak for both of us, because it's two against two. So Ashley, tell. I want you to preach. Tell us why the Suicide Squad isn't all that.
He's shaking his head.
Oh,
Look. All right, so
He put down his pencil.
As a movie by itself, it's entertaining, right?
Yes.
But the fact that this is supposed to be in the DCEU,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, what are y'all doing? Is this where y'all are going? Like, is this, or is it going to be Snyderverse? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what do y'all? It's like they were like, okay, so we want Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool. Let's get James Gunn.
Yes.
Instead of actually finding someone who can actually, I know they tried that with the first Suicide Squad, and since that was like panned all over the place, they were like, let's play it safe and just get someone we know can execute, but from the other studio.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at. I'm biased because I feel like Warner Brothers, DC, kind of they think just throwing things at fans will just get us to just watch, and to a degree, I have to say it's worked because even though I may have a bias, I still watch the stuff, so
Yep.
can't say too much. But I'm just waiting for them to find their footing. Like, I still feel like we haven't got a legit Superman movie yet.
oh, definitely. Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree there as well.
So, and before we go to Suicide Squad, could we establish, like, Marvel right now has have established their core characters, the Avengers, and they built their universe around them.
Yep.
But with DC, I'm looking like your best movies, Shazam and Suicide Squad, are so far apart from the tone of the DCEU. It's like, okay, like, who wants what? But that's also what their issue was with Justice League.
Yo.
Justice League, they were like, oh, so we want Avengers, but with Snyder's vision.
Mm-hmm.
So they got Joss Whedon, and it was just like,
Oh god.
what movie are we watching?
I have to say the Snyder cut was better. I like.
It was better.
Oh,
Yes.
it's so
Yeah.
good.
I would want them better to. I would rather them just go with one vision
Mm-hmm.
than to just try all of these things and then say it's part of one thing. Like, Aquaman does not feel like DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, when we speak of that, when we speak also speak of the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Right.
with the individual titles, there's a big difference as well between those. Like, there's a big jump of as you mentioned with the titles of the DCEU. There's the same, maybe not as big, maybe not as so obvious, but you don't have to watch a long time to see that you say, as you say, Guardians of the Galaxy is a completely different field that, let's say, Iron Man or Captain America. So there's differences in that regard as well.
Right.
Well, I have to say that the reason why Marvel is successful is because they got a Kevin Feige. They got something. They got an Overwatch guy that's making sure that everything feels the same. That's why you can have a Thor Ragnarok, which is completely like left field, and I love it. I love what they did with it, and you can still have that exist in the same universe as Captain America: Winter Soldier. I mean, to me, is still like the best MCU movie.
There's consistency. Like, that's it. Like, I just feel like
I agree there. I
agree as well.
Yeah,
but I don't see it. Like DC might want us to see it like that with the consistency, but I don't. I see them as individual films based on the comics rather than continuations of the other titles, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I can see that. Just like what Ashley said, as a standalone movie. Yeah, I get it. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. But I guess I just like the bar has been set so high now by Marvel that we want that same vibe, that same quality.
But isn't that wrong of us as the viewer to put that on these put that on Warner Brothers if that is not their intention to do that?
Oh, it's their intention.
It's their intention.
Failing miserably at doing it. So,
okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little biased, obviously.
They want Marvel's success without their work.
Yes.
They literally tried to develop a universe in 4 years where it took Marvel 15.
Yep.
So, but because DC actually has the advantage because they have Batman and Superman, the most iconic heroes in the world. So, but it's crazy because they didn't want to build up. Like, I understand we had a whole bunch of Batman movies and stuff like that, but if you're going to establish a universe, don't throw in the entire Justice League on a flash drive for the and then say, "Oh, we just got all of them. We gave them logos too."
Yes, I was going to say that. Those are good logos, though. Great logos. Yeah.
Pencils down, guys.
What? Oh God. See, Rick is up on my technique. I was trying to like.
Hey, you guys got 2 minutes extra. I allowed Ashley to finish his speech before I pencils down, Joel. I saw you.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
Let's see Leonardo's.
Oh man.
Killer.
Oh my goodness. I actually like that. Like a whole lot. That looks awesome.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, zoom into Krang.
Thanks.
Let's see those Krang abs.
Those Krang.
Can you zoom in, Leonardo, so we can see Krang there?
Krang's abs.
Yes, the Krang abs.
The Krang.
The abs of Krang.
Yes.
You know this. Let's change it so it isn't Krang. Let's change him to purple or something like that, and he can exist in the Grim Hero universe.
You just gotta do some paperwork, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it up to Leonardo. He can come up with some cool contrasting color palette that doesn't look like Krang, and you can figure out a way to introduce this into the universe. But yeah, awesome work, Leonardo. I think you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you nailed it. You got it. I could tell you had a hard time with it, but you nailed it. And I feel I'm so sorry that I did this to you, Leonardo.
No, it's okay. It's fun.
I like the pose too that you did for the Kamen
Yeah,
Rider.
that has a Kamen Rider feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Very.
Let's
cool.
look at the.
Oh.
That's actually
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah. So he kind of has.
He doesn't appear to like having a helmet on. Like,
He's like, can I take it off now? Roar! You know, that type of stuff.
He is not happy.
Yeah. But you know what? When I was doing this, I kind of got like, if there was a Wookiee Mandalorian, you know, like this, you know, he wouldn't have the whole Mandalorian, you know, costume on. He'd just have bits of the armor, and he'd have his fur sticking out. So I just think it's kind of funny because, you know, wasn't it Boba Fett? Part of his costume is that he had Wookiee pelts on his costume. So I don't know. It was a fun challenge. Thank you for making me suffer. Really had a hard time doing this, but overall it was fun. It was fun.
You're welcome. You know I love making you suffer.
Let's see what Ashley did. I want to see what Ashley did. Let's see what Ashley did.
Yeah.
So Ashley, we're gonna ice. Oh, look at that!
And that's cool. I like that.
Yes. And that's why I was telling Ashley, I said, you should be drawing along with us. And I'm so happy that he decided to draw along.
I'm glad. I'm glad my challenge made him want to do that instead of running away scared.
Yes.
Wanted Big Bird, but next time.
Big Bird, nothing's stopping you.
Speaking of
Noise.
Big Birds and Muppets,
Okay.
we got from Sarah Semper, one of our resident one that's been with us since almost day one.
Mhm.
It made a Cookie Monster Kamen Rider, and she wrote she only just came home after school. She only just came home after school, and she only had 10 minutes. So where you guys had 20, she had 10.
Sarah, you killed it. I can see Cookie Monster saying Kamen Rider, Cookie Monster. Yeah,
He doesn't even wear the helmet.
Yes.
Just
Exactly. He's gonna have that.
We got.
He can open his helmet and stick the cookies in it. So very, very cool. Did Roy or Victor?
Yep, Roy also did.
Oh,
That's King Shark.
wow.
Woo! You killed it. That looks awesome.
I love it.
I have to say, in the Suicide Squad, even though his analogous was basically DC's Groot, King Shark was that, but I have to say he was adorable. He was interesting.
And I just love they got Sylvester Stallone to voice him.
Yeah. I think he was a great character. I just don't get the alien jellyfish scene. Spoiler alert. I hope that if you guys haven't seen it yet, they're watching it. Yeah, remember that scene where
No, not Starro, but the aquarium scene.
Yeah, he shows up at the aquarium, and why is there an aquarium in the middle of this super tower? And it has alien jellyfish that look like something out of a Disney.
Nom nom. Exactly.
I know. Instead of I am Groot, it's nom 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 nom. So
okay, so last but not least.
Okay.
Are you ready, guys? From Victor Rufino.
A blank. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Who did this?
I said Victor Rufino. Yeah, well, listen.
Victor. I didn't hear.
Yeah,
This is the live file. Oh wow. Rob Liefeld style. Captain America. With
the chest needs
it
needs to be even bigger. Even bigger.
Yes.
But I get the pouches.
I didn't even catch that, but that's good, Victor. That's great. I love it.
Killing it, V. That was awesome. Great response. Oh, I tell you, this show has been awesome.
Sorry, Leonardo. What?
So my friend also did one I wanted to show. Like he couldn't enter the Facebook group.
Okay.
Yeah. So
just share it on your.
He did this. Yeah. So he did this. Can you guys see in my Photoshop?
Oh
yes! Someone did Homer. Someone did Homer.
I thought it was awesome.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's like he has the donut of death. He can grow the donut.
Yeah, donut. So epic.
Oh, I love it. Why couldn't he join our art show though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell
Shout out to Jordy.
Yeah. Okay. Tell him to join because we want him to draw our third challenge. Because we're gonna go.
I need to watch this again because I was hoping someone got Homer Simpson, and I'm just glad he picked that. That's great.
Yeah, I am ecstatic. I'm so happy that we got a lot of audience participation. So
it's funny that my most challenging ones is the ones that get most participations in the end.
I guess you're just an evil genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty.
I know.
Let's move right along here because we got so much more to talk about. So we're gonna end strong with the third drawing challenge, and this is gonna be Spector Black. And you got to remember, Spector is spelled with a K, not a C. That's everything that Ashley does is 100% intentional. So he's going to have to tell us why it's a K instead of a C. Just kidding. I'm sure it's just a stylistic thing. But yeah, it's always cooler with a K instead of a C. But yes, so I want everybody to take a gander. I want you to do screen capture of this because we're going to be doing our next Reaper. And you can see he has a really, really cool arsenal here. Not only does he have a skip, he has these swords or machete-style daggers. I'm not exactly sure what they are, and a gun too. I'm going to let Ashley talk about these things with Rick. But look at these
thank you.
helmets. I mean, just really, really cool looking helmets design here. So let's reset the clock. And I want everybody to check that out. Do your screen capture, and let's get to drawing the third live drawing challenge, Spectre Black.
And as always with these, it's 15 minutes.
All right.
So 15 minutes from. Hang on, let me just make it. Yeah, from now.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Yep, go ahead, Ashley. Speak. Who is
All right.
Nikolai?
All right, so there's a lot I cannot say about Nikolai, but
But you can though.
I'll say, like, from the gate, Darkstar and Spectre Black were always going to be key parts of whatever this was going to be. So like you saw from the beginning, we had those two little characters, me and my co-writer, J.S. Daniels. We were going for the nostalgia thing. So at first we were like, okay, Mumra, someone who kind of looks dead, but then can, like, the whole cloak and bandage up thing, when he's in a weak state, not when he becomes strong. It's like, why don't we combine that with like Skeletor and then T900, right? And that's exactly what happened. At first, the initial drawing just looked crazy. It was like the most outrageous thing. It was just, he just put the ideas together. And I just looked at it. I was like, okay, let me make some order out of the chaos. And from that, we've got Spectre Black. And Spectre, I said it's Spectre almost for the same reason why the creators chose to name Skeletor Skeletor. Mm-hmm. Not Skeletor. It's just like, because Spectre Black is part organic and part mechanic, cyborg, I wanted to add that element to his name. Black actually also is part of, I'll say this is actually a plot point that's revealed in the first issue, that there's a thing called Black Guardians, right? And the Black Guardian that's a Reaper is the highest tier Reaper. Those are the Reapers you'll see with the black cloaks and stuff like that, because those are the ones that go out to do like the hard jobs, not just reaping souls, but maybe even destroying or bringing down a demon or some creature from the cosmos or something like that that mortals can't defeat. So I once again be trying my best to be careful, but I'll just say that Spectre Black, his name is not just something that was just like, oh, this sounds cool, let me put it. It actually speaks a lot to his character and what he is, who he is. So yeah, he is. Even we started off actually with the look of the cloak look, like you saw when we made the little characters, we made him with the cloak. Even I have a picture that I gave Gerald that shows him in like a ghost, like kind of like just smiling with a cannon. I don't know if y'all remember the Super Nintendo cannons from back in the day, back when Nintendo was just trying everything. They were trying Virtual Boy, they were trying Game Boy Camera, they were trying a whole bunch of stuff. So what we did was, since this was like a nostalgia-driven brand that we wanted, we just took that and we wanted Nikolai's thing to be weapons. So he doesn't just have a scythe, but he has guns. He's the Rob Liefeld character. He's the one that you would see with like all the pouches and stuff like that.
He's Cable? Is he
Pretty
Cable?
much. He's the one that doesn't have any real sense of humor and stuff like that. Always serious to a laughable degree. But you know, just yeah, he's the gun of the team. He's the guy you send in first. Yeah, that's pretty much the basis around the creation of Spectre Black, aka Nikolai. At first, actually, as a matter of fact, I had told my co-writer that Nikolai was a serious part of the shift of what this became. Originally, it was just Nikolai with the scythe, and then over time, we looked at it and we're like, I'm like, wait a second. What if instead of Nikolai just being a part of the team, what if he plays a major role in everything? And so Grim here, like the whole Grim Reaper, Grim thing, like that actually came from Nikolai. There's so much that could be told from scars and stuff like that. And Nikolai, when you see someone like Cable, when I first saw Cable, you look at him and it's just like he's got a metal arm, he's got the glowing eye, he's got things going on. There's just like, okay, there's a story behind that. Because there's a story behind battle damage. There's a story behind scars. And Nikolai has that. He's had that from his conception. So I'm looking like, what could we tell? What story could we tell from Nikolai's perspective? Or what story could we tell with Nikolai? And what ended up happening almost was Nikolai almost took over the whole comic.
The star? He almost became the star?
Yeah. My co-writer actually had to remind me. It's just like, wait, so where does Darkstar play in all of this? Because I got so engrossed into Nikolai's story that I almost forgot. He is a supporting character. So what happened was, you know, after writing draft after draft after draft, we found Nikolai's place in the story. So right now, what I love about his whole thing is that I can actually play on the episodes coming from now on will play on Nikolai literally finding himself again. All of it, finding out what happened to him, finding out or remembering what happened to him, remembering who he is, who he was as a Reaper, or even as who he was on Earth, what his mission was on Earth before whatever happened to him happened. So I'm most likely probably spoiled a whole lot, but I didn't spoil the key stuff, which is what I'm just. It's almost like I'm reading a teleprompter, and I'm just watching the person say, "Wrap it up, wrap it up." I know what you're about to do. I'm really excited about Nikolai's place in the story. So yeah, I'm keeping the mystique of him as a way to a plot point.
Just to say, Ashley, if you need me to press the mute button on you, just give me a wink. If you feel like now you're talking, now you're spoiling, just say the word, and I'll push the mute button for you, buddy.
No,
not because I don't want to hear you talk, but I don't want you to spoil too much.
Oh no, I think I'm proud of myself right now because I almost did the you know how every time they do a Marvel press junket for a movie, one of the actors ends up giving away.
Yeah, you were almost gonna Tom Holland this.
Yeah, I was almost about to Tom Holland, Mark Ruffalo this, like.
Yeah.
They say so. Everyone dies, right?
Yeah, exactly. Spoiler alert! Everybody's dead already.
Yeah.
So, hey.
No, I just love listening to you talk because you talk about this whole project, every little detail about it with so much passion. I get caught into it, and I'm just hooked up. And yeah, I want to know more. Tell me more. And then you go, but that would be a spoiler. And I'm like, tell me more. I still want to know. but I get you. People need to watch, buy this comic and read it and enjoy it, because I know that you will, just with the passion you show from talking about it.
Yeah,
you probably put 110% more passion into creating it than you do talking about it.
Right. This process, the process of just being able to tell stories. I love telling stories. So even with the drafts that we didn't use for the story, it was just interesting seeing what could have been. Even the little fragments, we've actually taken fragments from past drafts and incorporated them into the overall story that we got. So nothing really is just at the wayside, not being used, especially for Nikolai. Even when it comes down to the name Nikolai, we wanted the Grimoire to kind of have a signature something about them, right? Just like Kal-El, it just speaks to the fact that, okay, he's a Kryptonian. So any other Kryptonian's name would be spelled a certain kind of way. So there's Kara-El, Connor-El, stuff like that. So with this, I was like, instead of just Nikolai, just the way that we know it, let me play with that, like Nikolai. Azra High. There's a character in the first issue called Gemini, right? So that's the thing, like with the Grimoire, that's how their names are put together. And that's like a little, I like little things like that, little details about a character that just speak about their culture, speak about their world. And that's what I was able to do with Nikolai, but it actually started with Nikolai. Before there was Azra High, there was Nikolai, and I was just like, oh, okay. Let me play with that. Like, let me see and shoot. Like the possibilities are endless now with that. Concerning who we can what we can do with the names, with the storytelling, with the lore. But one thing I also didn't want to do too much with Nikolai from the gate was just make him too heavy on lore. I wanted to really use him as a catalyst for a lot of things that happened from this point of the story where we started on. So yeah, as far as what's going on Earth and what's happened in his world, he plays a major role. But personally also too, I did want a character that just kind of had that Spawn element to him, where he's supernatural, but he will run up in a place with an arsenal of guns. I always like that about Spawn, is the fact that he's this grim character that is supernatural. But when I first saw him, he was strapped.
Yep.
He was a walking army. So I wanted my own version of Spawn without it being Spawn. So
I feel you. I get you.
So yeah,
that makes sense. 3 more minutes, guys.
3 more minutes. Ugh.
Oh, fun fact, real quick. Flash Thompson's Agent Venom was also a heavy inspiration for Nikolai.
Oh, I loved Agent Venom.
Yeah, I really loved the idea, because before Flash became Agent Venom, it was just Venom as we know him, either Spider-Man or Venom. And that iteration with what Marvel, I felt, did for me was they gave me Spawn all in black.
Plus they also reinvigorated Flash Thompson.
Right. They took him, even the whole idea of him, once again, battle scars, the whole thing that he started off as this bully for Peter Parker, then grew up. He had a moment where he went to the army, and then he loses his legs, and it like humbles him. Here he goes from a bully to a soldier, and then he becomes a hero because he bonds with the suit. And I know one thing about the symbiote is that according to the host, that's how it forms. So when it's on Spider-Man, it looks like Spider-Man because of who Spider-Man is. When it's on Eddie Brock, it looks like the way it looks because of who Eddie Brock is, what's going on with him. But with Flash Thompson literally almost became like a If my favorite thing from the 90s was Venom, Spider-Man, and Spawn, they just smacked that all together and then gave him a compelling story that literally the symbiote gave him legs. So yeah, like that was a heavy inspiration for Nikolai's armored look.
I can see that now that you mention it. I can also see from what you told about Nikolai that there's some spawn in it, but you're making everything your own. There's inspiration to be taken from people, but you can't find anything these days without that being inspired from somewhere else. After all,
right?
So, and again, as I mentioned before, you make something that is hard to find to make new things for when it comes to superhero comics, and you manage to do it, make it interesting, make it intriguing, and make it new, make it feel new, and that's I can praise you from now on till forever about that because it's not easy to do anymore.
Right.
So Rick, how much time do we got?
You're actually done. Thanks for pointing that out.
What? give us. This is our last drawing. Give me or give Leonardo.
No. Hang on, Ashley. What do you say? Do we give them 5 more minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. And I bet you only said yes because you thought you thought of Leonardo rather than Joe, right?
Of course, it's all about Leonardo.
No, I see. I think Gerald, as much as he praises everyone else, I said this at the beginning. I'm looking at what he's putting together. It's impressive. It's impressive.
Yeah. But Gerald is that type of guy. He sees greatness in everybody else but himself.
Because the greatness.
That's why we give him more time.
That's the greatness is.
No, Ashley, if we have to give him so much time that he needs to see greatness in himself, we'll never be done.
Wow.
Because I don't. He's just that kind of humble guy. He can't. He just can't. He's more focused on seeing the greatness in everybody else that he forgets to see the greatness in himself.
Well. Okay, let's get back to you should be
Now we're talking too much about him, so we gotta move on.
You're making me uncomfortable. Let's go look at Leonardo's cam. How about that?
We've been at Leonardo's cam all this time.
Good.
Cough. So, did you ask this, Gerald? Did you ask Leonardo what his main inspiration when it came to artists were?
I think you did just now.
Yeah, Leonardo, your main inspirations, because we know Ashley's now, and I'm curious to know yours.
Right. Yeah. So, like I said before, like I really like Ben 10, and I like especially their character design, and that made me like very interested in character design overall. Sort of looking into references of like how to design characters while I draw. And also recently when I started going into Instagram, I found some great artists like Felipe Magana or Human Magana, Human MGN, and on Instagram, such an amazing artist, like how he blends like sort of manga art into his own sort of style. And Tony Invante as well.
Yes.
He's like an incredible artist. Like I just love how these artists like sort of embed like some of the manga influences into their artwork, makes them super dynamic. This is something like I don't see very often. Speaking of Japanese artists, there's so many but yeah, mainly like Yusuke Murata is a big inspiration. It's like the artist or something. I don't know.
I have very little knowledge, sadly, but Can you what? Can you tell me something he's done that I might know?
So he did the manga for One Punch Man.
Oh, yeah, I know
Yeah.
that. I know
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, man.
Yes, it's absolutely incredible.
That's really. There's also a really great character concepts of the enemies he's fighting in that one.
Yeah. And
Wait,
he did
Leonardo.
also. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you know? I'm sure you probably seen it. Just in case, that artist actually did a Marvel piece, with all the Marvel characters, and I found it on Pinterest, and I'm like, why can't I would love for him to do at least a Marvel short in that style. It would be incredible.
Amazing. It would be next level. Yeah. He did some fan art of like Spider-Man, like Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home. It's incredible. Like, yeah, how he interprets like the movies in his own like very distinctive style, and his like very insanely detailed and extreme perspective. It's absolutely incredible.
Always a huge fan of people that's able to do those things, because that's not easy.
Yeah, definitely.
And I want to ask so much more, but it actually pencils down.
Oh,
Okay.
5 minutes went quick.
I was trying to like figure out a way to get more time, but I guess pencils down. So, all right, I want to see. I'm looking at it right now. This is a continuation of the series of magenta backgrounds in the character
and the suits.
Yeah, I can see this.
Oh, your cam just got shut out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let me get that back up there. But I was gonna say that Ashley, you're probably gonna have to do your next crowdfunding campaign. You're gonna have to do like a series of prints of the Reapers in business suits.
I like that. I like that concept. I really like it. Yeah. I love this. This is like so. It's like here's these, and the fact that he did Nikolai in armor with the suit on.
Yes,
that's Nikolai. He's just off. He's just he's all business.
Everybody looks dashing in a suit.
Yeah. Okay, I'm having problems with my art cam, so let me while we're doing this, let's I want to say, Leonardo, you killed it. You always kill it, and this is just
thank you.
You're such a violent person. Yeah. I just too much killing here. But hopefully, Rick, did anybody from our group? Did anybody?
We have a Sarah Sempa.
Okay, go ahead and feature
Sempa. I even though it's the simplest of names, I always mess them up. But yeah, he did this one. I don't know if it's
oh snap.
All right, Sean.
Look at that. That is a Reaper. It's coming for you.
Yeah. He wants my soul. I like it.
My soul.
Very cool, Sarah. Very cool.
Very cool job as always. And let's see here if there's any more. So while I search, we got. I thought he had gone to bed, but that was Roy that had gone to bed. So he's in the Philippines after all,
yeah,
and
it's
a teeny tad but it's not all not all the Filipinos that's gone to bed yet.
Yeah, not this
because Victor Rufino is here with his version.
Wow.
That's a Mumbra vibe if I ever saw one.
Yes. I love it.
That looks so good. That looks really good.
I don't know.
Great work, Victor.
You're like totally hawking my my upshot, thing. So you're doing it better than I ever could. So just really, really cool stuff. So
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Nice. So I guess this is mine. Let me get that in frame. I totally liked how he's an arsenal. You know, he
Yeah.
has a gun, he has a sword, he has a skiff, and I was like debating which one that could I do, because originally he was just going to be having a dagger in his hand that's going at you, but I decided to do the gun, and it looks like a typical Rob Liefeld gun. It's kind of like rounded and stuff. It doesn't look tactical at all.
It's a rounded square with
with holes in it. So
a typical Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, I didn't have time to put pouches on him yet. Ashley, I'm sure there could have been other ways to butcher the character. But...
Look, at least you can draw feet.
Yes, feet. And I got to do the chest where it's like out here, you know. And he doesn't do wrists. So, oh yeah, Victor, thanks guys. Gerald's on to me ripping him off. Yes, I'm on to you, V. You do it better than I do. But I tell you, such great. I'm so thankful for our audience that drew along. Leonardo,
always amazing.
Yeah, I hope you guys you got some new fans here. You know, doing some fan art here, and they feel like I do, and you know, or like Rick and I do, is that you guys have a phenomenal IP, and let's continue on to that. Now that we've done the live drawing thing, let's talk about your Indiegogo. So. Let me go and unshare this. So hold on one moment. And let me share a Chrome tab. All right. All right, here we go. So add this to the stream. Look at that handsome fella. He even has the specs on. He's like a totally different guy here. But this is the all business professional Ashley that we see here.
Right, that's Clark Kent.
Yeah, that's Ashley L. I don't know. You know, I don't know. If, you know, he's from the House of L as well. But I'm going to change the ticker at the bottom, and it's also in the comments field, pinned at the very top. This is how you can go to check out Grim Reaper or Grim Hero and follow the story of the Reapers. And right now, it's a little bit like I got a little bit thrown for a loop because I have such little brain power here. But it talks about the campaign which was completed in back in January. But this is the in-demand campaign right now. So even though the campaign, we did say that it was successfully funded. It had a 2,500 goal, got to 3,000 plus, 118 backers. I mean, that speaks really, really well of you. I mean, when I look at crowdfunding, it's always great to see that a campaign got funded. That's always good. But to me, it's testament to how well the campaign is, like the quality that's there, by looking at the number of backers. And when you can see 118 people believed in Ashley and Leonardo's work, that speaks so well. Because unless they have 118 family members between the two of them, that's 118 people that are complete strangers that said, you know what, I feel it. I feel what Ashley and Leonardo are doing, and I'm going to put my hard-earned money up, to prove it. And I want people to check this out. You can see more of the. You can get some insight in terms of the mantra, the mission, the reason why New Arc, which is the imprint that Ashley is putting all his characters under. You can see what what drives him, what's the meaning behind New Arc. You can learn about the studio, the story, and of course the covers. This is Leonardo's contribution. You get to see this with all the trade dressing that's on there. You get to see the logos, and it just feels right. Look at that. Everything even with the trade dressing put on there, it looks like a complete package. Everything looks 100% intentional. It looks like it's all meant to be. So I guess these are all the rewards. Obviously the campaign is done with, but you're going to do in-demand stuff. So check these categories out. It is on demand, so you can still be a part of this experience. I encourage you guys to check it out. Let's see. Ashley, you want to talk a little bit about this? Let's do that.
Yeah. Well, I do have the video up there. I'm not sure if you wanted to play that for them.
Yes, I'll play it right now. Here we go.
When you think about the Grim Reaper, what's the first word that comes to mind? Death. For the most part, most of us don't like death. In fact, most human beings are scared of death. But what if the Grim Reaper were a superhero? What if the very thing that most of us are scared of is the thing that actually may save us in the end? My name is Ashley Cheatham, and I'm the creator of Grim Hero.
I told you. He was Clark Kent. I told you. He did the whole shirt movement and everything.
Yes.
Clark Kent right there.
He did. He totally rocked that Clark Kent opening the shirt. And like we mentioned before, New Arc is the studio imprint that all of these Ashley creations are going to be under. So, like, I mean, if that didn't sell you on it, I don't know what is.
I got one quick question actually, because we haven't talked a lot about it. You've made your own music for this, correct?
Yes.
Is there any way we can people can listen to this music without buying the comic first?
As a matter of fact, right now the plan is any backer that backs the project, they will be the first to get the link to the digital album, right?
Yeah.
The ones who got the top tier, they're actually going to be getting a vinyl of the album.
Oh,
Whoa!
old
Nice.
school. Kicking it old school.
That's
I miss those because you get the album, you get a big album art,
Right.
that goes along with it. And
Artwork.
you're putting a lot of money into this, man, because vinyl isn't cheap, and that just shows how committed you are to this. Once again, how passionate and how much into this you are.
Yeah.
And I really just another thumbs up from me there. I don't have any more thumbs ups to give, but you get that small.
Yeah, too many thumbs to give. That's classic Rick. I totally agree. Even I only have two to do, and that's so awesome. So the music, did you say you composed it, or did you hire somebody to compose it? What exactly is the story behind that?
All right. So the storyline from the gate, I have to kind of give a little anecdote first before that.
Okay.
So New Arc is my brand, but I'm actually under an umbrella company called Constant Hustle Comics.
Yes.
And shout out to Lawrence King. But when I started the campaign, he made the suggestion, why not? As a matter of fact, way before I started the campaign, he suggested that since I make beats and I can do music and stuff like that, why not make a sound to go with the story? And I thought about it at first. He just kind of like said it like in my head. I'm thinking, okay, just put together some beats, make it like a beat tape, and just. But no, like what he wanted was for me to attack this as if it was a movie.
Mm.
So to make an actual sound to if not compose, to produce, get the people together who can actually make a sound that's Grim Hero.
Yes.
So what happened was, from that point on, we've just been in the studio, hitting up various artists. The project actually is called Thriller Nights, Grim Hero Thriller Nights. So going back to the beginning of all of this, when we just had the characters and we were just calling them Thriller Nights and we didn't know what, I went back, took all of that and just put it where I felt like it fit. And the project is a combination. It's various artists and instrumentals that tell the story of the world of Grim Hero, the characters of Grim Hero, and yeah, that's what it is. It's a soundtrack. It's the soundtrack to this story. So yeah, we're actually still tweaking some things with it. We're in the refining stages. Actually, right after this, I have to get right to that. But yeah, that's what that is. The music that you heard in the trailer that was put together, that's part of it. All of that. The album cover artwork, of course, Leonardo. That's actually the first one. The one that we got right now. You can't really see it, but it's on one of the pictures that you got because I had an ad. I just showed you an ad. Okay. But what Leonardo added was like bandages and stuff like that to it because yes. one of the key things to the main character's journey is pain, like overcoming obstacles and becoming stronger through pain. Because being the Grim Reaper and being impervious to her dying and all that stuff, now he's in a place where he actually has to consider, oh, I just can't do whatever I want because these marks are gonna these things are gonna scar. Bones can break and they can stay broke. Like I have to be smart about what I do now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like that, Leonardo went back and upgraded the album cover. So right now, we're all we got to do is just get this thing done. And just like the comic, we release the digital version to all the backers first. But eventually we will. Once this first issue is out to everybody and the vinyl is out to everybody, then it will be available for everyone.
Yeah, and I want to encourage everybody to jump on this Indiegogo page and show some love, support this because it's quality. I mean, look at this. I mean, this can compete with the big boys. I think it's it's one of those. It harkens back to the day. It's like remember when back in the '80s, and I think even like today, there are some companies that are guilty of this. It's like there'll be this phenomenal cover art, and then you'll buy it based on the cover art, and then you'll open it up, and it's like, especially if you go to a shop where it's already pre-bagged. And you're like, oh, I can't open it up. But the art looks awesome. I'm going to get home, and then you open it up, and it's like, oh, no. It's like somebody else did the interior. The difference with this is that not only you're getting this slamming, this really crazy artwork from Leonardo on the front, but the interior is just as polished. We showed you some of the sequential pages, so you're not going to you won't feel cheated when you see this. And then if you want to top that off when you support this, if you add the soundtrack on top of it, because then you can have music to vibe to. Like you can be listening to it and you can turn each page and think, oh, there's the score to go along with this particular page. I'm a big orchestral music, trailer music fan. I love all that stuff. Rick and I were talking about 2 Steps from Hell. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Yes. They're a great, I think they're a group of composers, and they do a lot of trailer music. And I will just get their albums because it's great music to draw to. And I'm listening to what you just previewed here, and I want to pick up this book. I want to see the soundtrack that goes to these fantastic images that Leonardo has done for the album cover, for the the variant covers, and to hear the story that Ashley has put together. So I just want to say, check out this Indiegogo page. Here's another styling photo. I don't know who this handsome guy is, but somebody. I don't know who that guy is, but check out that shirt. I mean, this is the evolution of style that we're going to talk about that we saw before. It's like this look. It works on so many levels. We got that vector, early geometric blocky shapes, and then we got the stuff that Leonardo is doing. But the aesthetic is all there. The art direction, the color palettes. It's all unified, and then you put all that really great graphic design on top of it. It's like the Colonel's secret recipe. I don't. This is like KFC new arc. You got all sorts of just love and secret ingredients that are all mixed together, and that's why we got Grim Hero. So yeah, I don't know what else I can say. Go, our audience, go check out this Indiegogo. It's in demand right now. Campaign is over, but you can still be a part of it. You can still help support Leonardo and Ashley in that respect. So there's the Indiegogo at the bottom. I'm going to change it one more time back to how you can get in contact with them and follow them individually. And let me remove this real quick. All right, so hey, we're doing pretty good, Rick. We're under 3 hours. So let's I'm gonna start getting kind of weepy, teary-eyed, because we're getting closer to the end of the show. This is where we move to the end. This is where we call it the Oscar speech. This is where our guests get to give their final thoughts. And yes, exactly. He has his Oscar ready here. This is good practice because I think you guys are gonna hit it big. I'm gonna encourage you both.
You don't get Oscars from comics, Gerald. Stop it.
Not yet, but I'm gonna make sure it happens. So that being said, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Leonardo. You get to go first with your Oscar speech.
He loved that. He loved that.
You can just thank Rick for his excellent analysis and just overall good-looking face that just graced this show. You can do that.
And amazing background.
Oh yeah, nothing beats that. So anyway, Leonardo, I hate to put you on the spot, but let your actions, let your artwork speak volume. So I just want you to add that little bit of a little bit of extra on top of it. You're that good. You're that good.
Let the man speak, Joel.
Go ahead, Leonardo.
Yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity. It's been really great talking to all of you. And if I could put like a final word, I just read the first issue of Grim Hero a few days ago because I didn't know about the story as that much outside of the Indiegogo. And honestly, I've read a lot of manga and it's really good. The art is amazing. The writing is really good and very intriguing. Can't wait for the next issue. I know I've also worked on it, but I'm a bit biased. But honestly, it's really worth checking out. So please go check out the first issue. And yeah, thanks again for this opportunity. It's really fun. I really like seeing all of your drawings and like the audience participation. And yes, I'm some talking about comic books in general and our controversial conversation about Suicide Squad. Yeah. Yeah, overall, thanks guys.
Oh, it was our pleasure. And I'm gonna have to say, the next time we have you in the show, I'm just so curious now because you're the man behind the mask. I gotta it's like I'm on The Masked Singer. It's like, except it's the masked artist. It's like, who's behind the mask? I really want to know what Leonardo looks like there. But
not flirting, Joel.
All right. So here, let's pass the mic to the man, Ashley. Let's hear your Oscar speech.
Well, first off, I'd like to give thanks to Bruce Wayne. No, I have to start first off. Even though I kind of threw a little shade at my mom for making me throw away the Spawn thing, she has been such an inspiration behind all of my creativity. She was in the comics before I knew what comics were and stuff like that. It just, I'm so thankful for her. But one thing, I'm a Christian, and I really do believe that God even allowed me to do this, to complete this and stuff like that. And there is I do have a heart for the community, that the manga community, comic book community and stuff like that. And I believe that this is bigger than Grim Hero. I think this is a lot bigger than just the book. So when it comes down to it, I'm thankful to God. I'm thankful to be who I am. And be able to still do something like this and to be able to reach people through this medium. So I have to give a shout out to Constant Hustle Comics. If Constant Hustle Comics wasn't around, I don't know what. They actually, right when like a month after I graduated from school, a friend, one of my classmates actually connected me with the CEO of Constant Hustle Comics. I had no idea who they were. I just was looking for a job, a graphic design job, and they hired me, and didn't know that a couple of years later, about 3 years later, something like that, I'd be able to do this. It was actually my boss that was just like, so he saw the sketches that you saw before I even really was confident to put them out. He saw them. He was just like, so what are we doing with this? What do you plan on doing with this? Is this going to be something? And that's the rest is history. So Lawrence King, if you see this, I am beyond grateful for you, bro. He's like, we're actually in the process of a big event for Constant Hustle Comics. It's called the Eviction Bellum. That's actually a Kickstarter campaign that's going on right now. So anybody who hears this, stuff like that, if you're interested in my stuff, go check that out. Either at constanthustlecomics.com or check out Constant Hustle Comics on Facebook, and you should see it. Go check that out, Eviction Bellum. But thank you, Lawrence King, for believing in me from the gate. Thank you to my people over at Love of Jesus Family Church. The community over there actually has also been pushing me to get this done. They've been a tremendous support in the process of creating this. So thank you all. And of course, Leonardo, bro. Thank you for just even amongst all the emails I know you get and the pitches I know is thrown at you. Thank you that you caught mine and ran with it. I feel so blessed to be able to be able to collab with you on this. You really brought this to life, and I'm thankful for you, man. I hope that our ventures go beyond even this, that maybe someday I'll be able to help you some way, as you helped me. So I'm grateful for you, man. Thank you. And
likewise, man. Yeah,
man. And the interior artist, Deddy K. I gotta say Deddy K, because that last name, I do not want to butcher it. I have too much respect for you, but I am thankful for you, bro. Like, I'm like, your artwork, the time, the patience, all of that you put into this. I want this to be successful because I believe your artwork, for both you and Leonardo, it deserves to be known. It deserves to be seen. So I want this to be successful so that people can know who Deddy K is, who Leonardo Vincent is. So thank you both. I'm really grateful for the both of you. And moving forward, I just hope that things just go uphill from here.
That is, I was getting all emotional listening to that. I was just like, wow, that you guys really love each other. Yeah. So just really cool stuff. It's nice to see that kind of bro relationship in terms of being able to do that creativity, come up with something that's this creative, something that's this good. And so that being said, I just can't say enough about how I want our audience to check these guys out. Awesome artwork, just phenomenal artwork. Phenomenal people. I mean, I think that's what you're going to get out of this Comics Cast. Let it out. It's about putting that face on the creators. Getting them on here. We're going to work on Leonardo's face. That's going to happen in the future, to be determined. But we want to be able to connect you guys. We want to connect our audience to these creators so that you can see what they're all about. And it's just great to paint that picture and to draw along with you guys. Completely an honor. So as we end with every show, we basically want to showcase this. I'm going to add this to the stream right now. We end the show with this. This is a charity partner that we're really good friends with. We have no financial ties to them. And let me change. Oh, look at that. Rick is on top of it. He already got the banner going. Rick. If we got paid for this, the check would be in the mail. But anyway, the way that I want to talk about this particular organization, they are goldenfight.org. They are an organization that I like to call is big enough and small enough at the same time. They are small in the sense of that they are not a super big organization. They focus on my neck of the woods, which is the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. That's the Virginia, Maryland, DC area. And what's big about them is that their mission is to help families that have children that are dealing with very severe illnesses like cancer. That's where they are big. That's where they are huge. 97 to 98% of the money that they raise goes to the family. That 2 to 3%, that nominal amount, that basically covers the administration fees of just running a charity organization. A lot of the leadership does this on volunteer basis because they've had either family members or they know of friends that have experienced this type of financial burden. So basically, when parents are focusing on the healing of their child, inevitably they will have financial difficulties. And that's where Golden Fight comes in. They make sure that those financial difficulties are taken care of. So the priority is the healing of that child. So check out Golden Fight. We're not financially tied to them. If you just want to see a great charity, and if you feel so inclined to contribute to one, Golden Fight, I urge you to consider them. So let me stop that. And yes, we come to that end of the show. I think the co-founder Joe would be very proud of me because I didn't talk everybody's ear off and get to the 3-hour mark. We're just under 3 hours, and I know that I could talk to you even more. And Rick would have to tell me to shut up. But
I'm not allowed to.
Yeah. So here we go. I want everybody to check out that ticker one more time below. I want to thank all of our audience.
And this one as well.
Yes, those two things. They are in the comment field, so you can click on them or copy and paste them from the comments field. You have our permission now that the show is coming to an end. But yes, I want to thank all of our audience, our viewers, for watching, for commenting, for drawing along with us. You guys are our heroes, and my heroes also are our guests. So Ashley Leonardo, thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to having you on here again. Anything new when Grim Hero issue 2 all the way to 200, you just let us know. You're always welcome here.
He said 9. He said 9, Gerald.
Well, I like to think in bigger numbers, And Rick will always give me a hard time because I'm going to say, our guests, when it's ready to show up on Netflix, you let us know too, because we want to promote the heck out of that as well. So Leonardo, you're in Australia, but we got love for you and here in America. I'm so excited to see what you're going to do. I expect I'm going to follow you just like I follow Ashley. And I just want to see you both succeed. And if Comics Cast can be a part of that equation, you just let us know. So that being said, Rick, you have any final words before you take us out? He's totally speechless.
You said everything as always. You never leave anything for me. You blabbermouth, Gerald the Rambler.
I know. I'm so guilty. I am so guilty. Anyway.
Now again, people, thank you as always for supporting us, being here every Sunday, showing your love in our show, and just showing your love on Indie Comics Cast, which we are building up, and we now have a direct plan of numbers to reach by the end of this year, hopefully, fingers crossed. If you all saw the update early on today, was it today he updated?
I think it was yesterday. Joe sort of said
yesterday, yeah.
Yes,
I think.
Yep.
And we pretty sure it will be done because we're just that damn good. And with you guys, we absolutely sure we'll reach our goals. So thank you very much for supporting us. To keep supporting us, and we will see you later in another episode.
Yep. All right. Comics
Bye bye.
Signing out. See you guys later. Bye bye.